Hey, what's up? What's up, guys? What's up? How's everyone doing? So, tonight will be a bit different. If you're watching this, this is a premiere. It's not live, it's pre-recorded, so I'm sorry. I'm most likely out hanging out at a friend's place for Halloween. So, I'm going to be dressing as Dallas Corbin, right? Dallas Corbin. If you guys do not know about that, okay? That will be he is you know, Bruce Willis on The Fifth Element, right? So I'm gonna have like the orange shirt, sci-fi looking clothes, right? I did the hair, right? He had a blonde hair in the movie, so that's what I'll be dressing as, Dallas Corbin from Fifth Element. So that is what I'm gonna be doing. Excuse me. So sorry that this is not gonna be live, but um uh I don't know, I may drop in and in the chat and stuff. So I might, we'll see. But anyway, I still think it's gonna be a good live, right? I still think it's gonna be a good live because I have some interesting videos, particularly my TikTok series that I'm gonna show. Right, it's a bunch of clips I have, um, and I I literally categorize it as miserable. So these are honestly the most miserable women on TikTok. Okay. So we'll be talking about that. We'll be showing about that. All right. So hopefully you guys like that. Now, just to get started, you know, um, I'm gonna react to this video first. Okay. I'm gonna start with this video. This video is interesting. Well, not the video itself, because I've never seen this video. I saved it to see if it's good or not. I don't know if it's going to be good. It's just that this guy I saw popped up in my TikTok algorithm. He called himself the king of betas. I'm like, okay, it's not necessarily the most endearing term to embrace, but it's cool that he embraces it, right? So I'm gonna check this one out. Again, I don't know if this is a good video or not. Hopefully, it's interesting to react to. If he does have some and this is the thing, right? I don't really like interact reacting to panderers, because I always find these are men that I find even more stupid than women. Because so instead of being logical as a man, you are being emotional like a woman. You are absolutely delusional. You're absolutely idiotic. But you know, let's see if he's that person. But but again, I said this where I dislike reacting to panderers because it's even more annoying. Because when women make certain takes, you can understand it. You can give it, even if you don't, but you can give it a little grace because it's a woman. But when a man does it, it's like you have no excuse. You have no excuse for being so idiotic, for being so delusional, for being such a hypocrite. So we'll see this. Let's check this out.
Proverbs 31 women, and there's books written on that. But right there, and I'm an atheist, just to be clear, like my followers know I'm completely atheist. I do not believe in the Bible. Christian mythology, I think, has done us all dirty, and it did me dirty, so I'm no longer participating in it. But what about, there's a verse where Jesus is with Mary and Martha. They're the sisters of Lazarus, and Martha's in the kitchen, right? She's in the kitchen and she's doing all the cooking, and she's like, "Hey, Jesus, go tell Mary that she needs to get in the kitchen." And Jesus himself says, "Mary's out here with the men. She's chosen the better part." So, like, why is there in the Bible?
Now, I'm not a Bible thumper, right? I know very little about the Bible. I know very little. I mean, just the popular teachings, the popular, talking points. So I don't know if she's saying it's true or not. But here's the thing where I always find it weird that anybody, whether you are a Bible thumper or you're not, that you like to pick and choose certain things. I hate that kind of point of view. when you pick and choose certain things, it just it doesn't give you any credence to your argument, your overarching argument. And excuse me, sorry. And here's the thing where to say that it's a good thing that women are not in the kitchen but out with men. It's like, now I'm not the type of man who's saying, "Oh, women need to be in the kitchen." No. But again, women being in men's spaces has not really done women has not really done women anything, any favors, or has not been that great of a thing for women. It hasn't. How many times you hear women say, "Oh, you know, men are misogyn." I just did a video of a woman who's saying like she's she's in the military, surrounded by men, and like she's like, "Oh, men are this, men are that." Then you know what? Then this is the thing. Don't be in men's spaces. It's the insanity that you have to insert yourself into men's spaces and then want men to change. I find that absolutely idiotic, in my opinion. I really do. I mean, unless you can accept and adapt to men's spaces, or just don't be in it. I mean, unless it's like there are absolutely disgusting, like evil, vile, where they want to kill, or just extremes, right? Unless it's extremes, stop it with the the high horse. I hate it when people like you go into something and you want others to change. No accountability whatsoever.
Don't be a Proverbs 31 girl. Be a, what is that, Luke 20 or something? Be a Luke 20 lady. Jesus
Yeah.
said, "Get the hell out of the kitchen." He literally says that in the Bible. Get the hell out of the kitchen. The better option is to be out here with the men. So, like,
How is that the better option? I I find it really idiotic. Okay. We have women nowadays complaining about working. This is a thing where I mean, like you have the freedom to do what you want. Okay. But literally, women are now feminism has now pushed women outside of the household, and now they are in the fields, in the environment along with men. And yet they don't realize that men didn't want it. Men had to accept it. Now women are dealing with the environment where they are they are in the field along with men, suffering along with men. Great. That's great for women.
the Bible, people cherry pick it. Pastors have cherry picked the Bible so that they can make women think that they have to be crab wives. And it's ridiculous.
Yeah, and it gets back to certainly they like to pick that when it supports what they think, but then they won't pick the part about not eating certain types of meats or like wearing certain garment fabrics together or like thread types together. And to me, it just goes back to like when men say that kind of stuff, they don't realize it, but what they're saying is, "I'm really tired and lazy and I really want to relax. Please give me a break." But what they say out loud is, "I've got this moral high ground and this is the way it's supposed to be." But what they mean is, this is tough. This is tough. And I don't want to step up and put in the extra effort or support or hours or whatever it's going to take to make their partner and their family feel supported. And then they'll stand on some kind of excuse. Either I worked all day, I made the money, the Bible says this, something like that. And then they'll like that. That is their big, manly, chest puffed out excuse. I always use that phrase. Like people,
Yeah, I can tell that I'll love this guy. Here's the thing where I find it funny because you are seeing the change right now. There are more and more men saying, "What about me?" In the sense that I don't want to fully provide. Like literally, there are less men, okay, stepping up to want to fully provide. Now, I've been on record to say this. I believe that most people, most average people, which is most people, should do 50-50. 50-50. And if she work, I mean, she should work, he should work. They both provide financially. And here's the thing where I will hold men accountable. He also needs to do domestic work, clean, cook if he wants to cook. This is a thing where for me, I don't necessarily cook. I just pop something in the oven. Okay, so if I'm doing that, that's how I do it. If I'm eating like that, I do that. When I want to clean, I clean when I want to clean. Like yesterday, The other day, I mean, I stayed home a bit and I started cleaning. Right, I started cleaning my bathroom, started cleaning, folding clothes and stuff like that. But I do it when I want to do it. Right, we shouldn't be forcing people on when they need to do it. Okay, but again, contribute. Right, domestic work. You should contribute to childcare. Like you should be part of your children's lives. I 100% support fathers being an active part in their children's life. And here's the thing where at least the single father statistics have shown that men are active parts in their children's life. Actually, statistics are showing that there's an increasing amount of men who are actually changing the tide where they are more active fathers. They are more active in the homemaking. And they're also showing that men are not jumping to fully provide. So men are adapting. I believe it's women not liking the adaptation. It's women who do not want, because again, 60% of women or 60% of stay-at-home moms, they're the ones who choose, who want to be stay-at-home moms. So women are the ones who desire to be stay-at-home moms, stay-at-home wives. Men would love the burden not to be 100% on him. Men would love a chance to be a part of their children's lives, to be a part of, to be around their wives, their girlfriends more often than just be at work all the time.
Will come into my chat and their chest is just puffed out, and take a breath. Just be willing to have a conversation. Realize that the other 4 billion people staring across the aisle at you, the women, they are people. Like science says, you guys think and feel just like us. There's nothing different except for the chromosome thing.
Do you have merch yet?
I don't have merch yet. I should, right?
Or you should women people. I have all the feminist merch. I have a man is not a plan. Fuck the patriarchy, all that stuff.
Oh, I saw that.
More people, that'd be great. And any of my followers, please go over and follow John. I call him John the Good Guy, and we've done a couple podcasts and things together. John, the reason that I'm so intrigued by you is that we need men like you, or we women just like it's life without cats. And I love cats, and being single is a great thing for a lot of people. But ideally, humans do need partnerships. Not everybody. Some people are better single.
And here, my controversial opinion, I think more women should just stay single for the rest of their life. I hope that women would sterilize themselves, i.e., not get pregnant, right? I did it. There's a woman that on TikTok, she said that she sterilized herself. I mean, I'm not forcing anything on women, right? I'm not forcing anything. But again, we definitely need less baby mamas in this world. And I believe a lot of women are better off, better suited to just be single for the rest of their life. I believe that feminism, straight up feminism, they are better off not reproducing, right? These women are better off not teaching the next generation. I don't know if this guy's single, but again, men like him are also better off not producing.
Some people don't want to be a partner, but we are wired for love. Stan Tatkin, a lot of researchers say that. And it's unfortunate for those of us who do want to be in partnerships with men to know that there's absolutely nobody good out there to date. And marry them, then now we're like the baby mommies of these little toddler boys who like that's the worst. The whole man keeping thing and being a caretaker to a grown ass human being is exhausting. We women are tired of doing it. And just to know that there's a guy out there who's
Oh, God. Okay, so I Googled it, right? While men's participation in domestic work and childcare has increased, women still perform a larger percentage of these tasks. For instance, some studies, women do about 58% of housework, 57% of domestic labor for couples with children, while men do 43%. In terms of childcare specifically, men spend approximately 51% of the time women do, according to one analysis. Okay, again, you could read it, right? I mean, women are responsible for about 58% of the housework. Men do almost half. Now, again, it's probably skewed because certain women's do they go for traditional relationships, but very, in couples with children, women are responsible for about 57% of domestic labor, while men are 43%. It's not. I find it the wording's a little bit weird, right? Women still perform a larger percentage of these tasks. Yes, but you would think that it was like, I don't know, 70-30, 80-20 by what all these feminists and, feminist men talk about. You make it seem like it's so drastic. Not that drastic. It is increasing. Men are, taking up the slack. More and more men. Again, things are changing, right? Men are changing it. And it's funny too, where you think about this. There are in such a huge, I believe, a huge increase of men changing things. Yet there's still a huge, or there's a decent amount of divorces, and decent amount, 70% are filed by women. I mean, again, there's no necessary correlations, right, or causations, but you know, could be that even though men are doing better, men are contributing, men are taking up a lot of the slack. This ain't a little bit, right? 40, like 43 to 57. That's not an insane gap. That isn't. But women are still leaving marriages, still leaving, are the ones who file for divorce majority of the time. Make what kind of assumption you think.
Teaching other men to step up and be equal partners in the home that's what we need. That's what we want.
It pains me when they, like, usually a woman, right? But a woman will come into the chat. And actually, I think you had one a minute ago in your chat. I think a woman that would say, like, where are the men like these? I thought that men like these didn't exist. And that's sad. It's encouraging because I know that I'm not the only one, obviously. But it is sad to see that. It's sad to see that so many women have gotten burned or whatever, that they think that every man out there says, shut up and cook and clean. I hate that. Pains me. And I told you, I say this on my lives when I go live at least like once a day, that part of the main reason I do this is because I've got my 5-year-old daughter. I don't want her to grow up and think that I am not a good enough woman or partner or whatever unless I do what the Bible says or do what my man tells me or do that thing I really don't want to have to do. I want her to be able to choose. And then if she chooses to cook and clean, whatever, that's her choice. But I certainly don't want her to sit around for 18 or 40 or 60 years thinking, I think I love this guy, but I really hate doing this thing, but I better shut up and do it, right? She's better than that. All you guys are.
Then choose a different guy. Here's the this is why I hate panderers. Okay. Where you are here promoting no accountability. You love this guy, but yet he expects you to be in the kitchen, then fucking don't love him. Pick another fucking man. It's like, what? And this is the problem I find, right? With feminism, right? With feminists in particular, panderers or straight up feminists. Do you not take accountability at all for your actions? Do you not believe that you have a hand, or the hugest, right? The hugest hand in your own effing life? You're the one who dictates your life. Who is forcing you to do whatever you don't want to do? What man is forcing you to be in the kitchen? What man, please? I have yet to hear. Please tell me what man that you don't want is forcing you to be in the kitchen. I really want to hear, because again, you are choosing it. At the end of the day, you can leave said men that even try to force anything on you. You can leave it.
All women are, all men are. So
I just love that. And that's like the new wave of feminism. That's our motto, is for our daughters. So I love that you talk about that. And on that topic, Linda Mason, Linda, I haven't seen you forever. I'm never on TikTok. So I'm just so happy to see some of my peeps on here. Linda says, I had 4 children, Jenny, and I taught my boys as well as my only daughter to cook and clean. And John, that's how we disrupt this future cycle. That's how we become the cycle breakers. That's how we stop this from moving.
Stop it. Okay. This is a thing where, let me see this. This is a thing where I find it funny. Who are the ones to typically educate the children? Who are the ones to actually raise the children? You constantly, a lot of women, a lot of feminists constantly complain that men are not active in their children's lives. Men are not, um, doing much. So in reality, right? You got to think about this. It is the mothers that are active in the children's life. And even, let's say, besides household, it is women in the school system that is the second active figure, adult figure in a child's life. So it's always women. Always women are the most active role, has the most active roles in said children's lives. And yet you always bring back to blaming shit on men. You're always bringing back to blaming shit on men. I just find it really funny because who are these young men learning shit from? From their mothers, from other women.
Forward. Like it's 2025 right now. We don't want to be having this conversation in 2045, 2050.
Yeah.
I don't want my granddaughters. I have one little grandbaby. He just turned 4. I don't want that generation.
You have a grandchild? Oh my God, these people are just miserable, stupid fools.
50 years down the road to still be having this conversation. And when category of the human race to be the servants to the other category, I want to stop it now. And Linda, that's exactly how we do it. And I've raised sons. I teach them exactly to do the same stuff. And I think that's a really distinctively different mindset that my parents didn't have and my grandparents certainly didn't have. Like my granddad, the boys went to Boy Scouts, they played football, they did their homework, they were working on careers, while the girls, they were in the kitchen. And I saw this in my own life. Like I'd go to grandma and granddad's house and all of my grown-ass uncles after dinner would just sit at the table while we women cleared the plates. In my entire life, I'm 50 years old, and I have been to so many Thanksgivings and Sunday dinner grandma's house and all this stuff. I've been to my uncles' homes for dinners and stuff too. I have never once seen one of my uncles who are that generation ever go into the kitchen and do any of the work.
Yeah.
They're washing the dishes. They're not mopping the floor afterwards. They're not like putting away.
This is why I find women idiotic. Okay, so you're 50, so the generation you're talking about are extremely old. So here's the thing. Why don't you bring, oh, did you see that? Oh, I don't see this generation of these older women going out to work. Why don't you say that? No, 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 no. You have to make a point about the flaws of men or the flaws you see in men, right? The issues you see in men. Like you're not, again, I'll say this, right? In today's age, 2025, fine, right? It's okay that you think if women are working, providing, okay, I don't believe that men shouldn't also take up slack in the household. I've never, I've been stoutly opposed to men just like let a woman provide or contribute providing, and then also take 100% or the huge majority of all the other labors. No, I believe that we need to make it as 50-50 as possible. Why? Because we can shut up people like this. I love it that more and more men are actually changing the tide. More and more men say, okay, I'm not paying fully dates. No, because this should be a 50-50 situation. Because of women like this, because of beta male like this, right? I want to not feed into your delusions. I want to not make you, like give you reasonings for all the F the patriarchy, all that shit, men's privilege shit. No. So we are going to treat you like equals. I believe men do it more. Men do it, right? Men do treat women like equals. Let's go 50-50. Let's pay for the dates, both of it. Let's, I don't need to open the door for you. I don't need to, like literally, men are doing it. You're seeing it. Chivalry is dead because again, that's not treating women like equals, right? That's treating women special. Men are expecting women to put in effort, right? And women are calling men sassy, right? Men are doing it.
The leftovers or anything, because they were taught these very distinctively gendered roles. And I think that we do our kids a disservice when we raise them as half of a person. Like, why should a bachelor not know how to decorate their house, not know how to meal prep for the week, not know how to run their washing machine and be waiting for this woman to come do that for him? And why should a woman not know how to not have the education, not have the job skills, not be able to provide for herself, get her own credit, buy her own home, and take care of herself? Women need to be taught that leadership. We need to be taught the whole package. Wouldn't you agree? Like, we need to stop raising people to be half of the package.
Yeah, 100%. I don't understand. I had somebody in yesterday, I think, that came in and said, I know that it doesn't work the way that John says it works. The other way works better. And whenever I asked, okay, what's your proof? What's your data? What's your logic? And this guy said, history. And I was like, okay, we used to not fly. We used to not have internet. We used to not have slaves. What do you mean history? And then, of course, they went back to their little messed up argument of that's the way it's always been.
Hmm. So, I mean, I just Googled it. I mean, they didn't give me a percentage, but they said traditional relationships do tend to have lower divorce rates compared to non-traditional unions. They also gave it a caveat where the reasons are complex and often linked to factors such as shared values, social support, and financial interdependence, rather than traditional structure itself guaranteeing happiness or stability. So, I mean, again, I mean, yes, it's you could probably have to dig in deeper. Um, yeah, you probably have to dig in deeper, but um, I mean, there's been some research that suggests children of divorce are like more or likelier to divorce themselves. So, and again, usually is traditional families don't promote divorces. So, I wish they gave me the statistics on it, but AI, right, who is much smarter than the average person, um, has those datas. So yeah, I mean, it has shown that. So I mean, you know,
If that's the way we always thought, we would still have slaves. We wouldn't have internet. Like, we'd still be hunting bears for like meat and blubber out in the wild or whatever happened 30, 40, 50,000 years ago, even 6,000 years ago. That's the key thing. And it's like the time is now. The time is not 200 years in the future when it's a little bit easier. It only gets easier to make changes like this for the better when people.
I wish he said he has a daughter. He doesn't say he has a wife. So I really would like, because here's the thing, right? I'm not saying that, oh, if you don't have someone or if you do have someone, it backs up your saying. But when I find it, because I don't give prescriptions, right? I don't give prescriptions. Uh, it's more descriptive, okay? So I don't tell you what to do. I don't tell you necessarily the best path to take, okay? I do promote more men loving themselves, more men respecting themselves, more men having boundaries. But that should be universal, women or man. For these people who tout, oh, let's not do traditional stuff. The new age, whatever stuff is better and all this stuff. Okay, then could you prove it? You're 50 and single. Uh, Maybe, again, I'm assuming, right? I'll probably maybe check out more of his shit to come see and confirm. But here's a man, a single father, maybe. So are like, because you tout what you're saying is so much better. Where's the proof in it? Right? Where's the proof in it? Because I find it when people say that oh, this way is better, you have no results to show it. I was like, how can you show me that it's better? Where's the proof? I'm not saying what is better and what's not. Okay, that's not. I mean, maybe if you can point me where I'm saying certain things that, oh, do this, it's better for you. In the sense that, like I said, I mean, respecting yourself, having boundaries, it's better regardless of any kind of situation. But I'm not saying, oh, you know what, go have a body count of 50, right, and go do this. No, I don't. I don't really care to give you, prescriptions on how to go about life, or I don't know how to be the best person, in a sense.
Like us do it when it's hard. Otherwise, we would still have all those terrible things and we wouldn't have good things like the internet. So I'm not going to wait until it's easy and comfortable to tell men who disagree with me, hey, your daughters don't have to cook and clean to be good daughters. I'm going to say, right. And hopefully I make a difference to one or two of them. Maybe someone's listening right now and they'll open up. Who knows?
I don't I don't know what man teaches his daughter, "Oh, you need to cook and clean to be a better." No. But what I do, and I personally promote, right? I have a daughter. What I do promote is accountability. Choose the path, right? Choose the path you want to choose and know that you chose it. No one forced you to. You want to be a career woman? Do it. You want to find a man that you will love and, be his helpmate? Go for it. But learn it's accountability. You chose it. No one forced you, right? No one forced you in whatever path you choose. I don't know any man who is telling his daughter, who is teaching his daughter, you need to cook and clean. You need to learn to cook and clean for your husband. What? In my honest opinion, I think there's more men teaching women to be strong, independent, which I think that's a detriment in themselves, right? I would not teach my daughter to be one way or the other. I would teach my daughter to have accountability. Choose which way you want and know that you chose it.
And that's a funny thing too, because like people cling to these certain things about history because I'm a man. I want to go to work. I want to come home, sit in my recliner, and I want to have the wife cook my dinner. And
I don't. I honestly don't. Here's my thing, right? I don't believe now. Please prove me wrong. I don't believe men are desiring to go to work and just go home, break their back during work and go home and just have you cook and clean, right? I don't believe that. I mean, I'm not saying there's no men, but I don't believe that men are desiring that. If men can, well, I would say this, right? It depends on like how long he's been living by himself, right? I believe, and a lot of my audience, they've lived by themselves. They take care of themselves, so they're not desiring to, go to work 100% and then come home and then have a woman take care of everything. No, but in my opinion, is that a lot of these men are saying, "What do women contribute? What do women bring to the table?" And women get angry about that. All right, what do you bring to the table? Women aren't saying that, okay, I'll take off some of the load, right? Let's both provide, right? You don't have to pay 100% of anything. We'll do 50-50, right? We have a partnership. But women aren't saying that. What do they say? I bring me. Okay, what the fuck does that mean? Right? That's nothing. So again, men are finding that a lot of women are not bringing much to the table besides themselves. So in turn, fine. If you're not providing, if you're not contributing, then you have to go back to your gender norms. Men are not necessarily pushing women to it, in my opinion.
that's a magical feeling. Like last week, I pulled like a 16-hour day. I had all these scripts and a podcast and an interview to do. And it was like 8 o'clock at night. And I was still sitting at my desk when Kevin came home and I was supposed to be the one cooking dinner that day. And Kevin, this happens so often. Kevin comes home, my podcast has gone long, something's gone long. And Kevin gets out of the kitchen and he cooks yet again another beautiful meal. He comes over and sets it down. That feels magical. Oh my God. Like I'm eating this good food. I didn't even have to cook it. That feels amazing. So yeah,
Yep.
history and says, and
I don't get it. I thought she said she was. Okay. Well, okay, fine. She has a partner. Okay. But here's the thing. I've said this before. Which is weird because she said like, can't find. I don't know. It seemed like she inferred she was single. So that's where I go. But literally she's showing that you can find the man that fits whatever, standard you have. I've said this before, okay? It doesn't matter if you're a straight out feminist. It doesn't matter if you're a traditional woman. It doesn't matter if you are a fat woman, a skinny woman, a ugly woman, a beautiful woman. I believe women of any and all demographics, women of any and all ideology and mindset, you will have options, right? You will have options. The only problem is, are these the option of men you want, right? Are these the option of men you are attracted to? If you're a feminist and you want a man that's like a feminist too, you have hundreds of thousands of them. The problem is, are you attracted to those men? That's the problem. This is the stupidity why I said that. Stop trying to change men. You have options out there, right? You are a straight out crazy ass modern day feminist. You have a man that's literally your mirror image. He's also a feminist out there, right? There's also feminist men out there. Boom, right? You have no problem. You have options. The issue isn't that you don't. This is the most stupidestness of women, right? The most idiotic mindset of a lot of women saying, "Oh, there's no men out there. There's no good." No, there's plenty. The issue is not that there's not any man. The issue is, are you attracted to the men that are there, right? Are you attracted to the feminist men? Are you attracted to the men that would like do 50-50 with you? Are you attracted to the men that don't subscribe to gender norms? Are you attracted to those men? Stop thinking, oh, you know what? I'm attracted to the men that I'm attracted to, but I need those men to change into, let's say, feminist men. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Stop wanting men to change, right? Either accept him how he is or find the man that fits.
To say it makes sense why men want this. I want to say that history tells me I just get to sit down at the table and this beautiful woman's going to bring me all this delectable homemade food. That's history. But if we're really going to cling to history like that and like traditional values, then we're going to live like the Amish. We're not going to have electricity. I'm not going to be on this TikTok live with you. I'm just going to have my electric toothbrush and my cover with the gasoline in it. If we're going to be historical, if we're really going to cling to history, like that's the way that it's always done, we got to get rid of all the other stuff too. We're all going to go full blown Amish. So that history is always bizarre to me.
Yeah, I'm going to say this, then you got a question in the chat quick. But if I think about it from my daughter's perspective, I don't want my daughter growing up and saying, oh, actually, I wish my dad wouldn't have spent so much time and attention on me, because that's not what men did back in history. Like today I spent all day with her. I'm supporting my wife while she makes some of her Etsy stuff. I don't know if I told you that, but she's like starting to make homemade bags and clothes and stuff.
Okay. He's married. I'll give him, credit where credit's due.
Like I want to
Yeah, I could show enough on the stream I got downstairs. I showed off for one of my lives. But so she was working on that today, and I had a super long day. And then I was like, okay.
But again, right? That shows you that there are men that will fit whatever ideology you want. You want the provider men? There are those men. You want the 50-50 men? There are those men. There are men like that, right? There are men like that. The problem isn't that there's no man like that. No man that, fit whatever ideology you have. That's not the problem, right? That, in my honest opinion, that's never been the problem. The problem is, are you attracted to the men that fit whatever standards or ideology you have? That's the thing. Are you attracted to the men that fit your standards and ideology?
I'm tired. I would rather just sit here until bedtime, but like my daughter needs something. Like we've been playing games, watching TV all day. So I sucked it up and I took her out to the beach. And no part of her is going to grow up and say, I really wish my dad would have worked more and watched more TV while mom cooked dinner, because that's what men did for the last 100 or 1,000 years. So from their perspective, from the kids' perspective, it's super important for us to get this right.
I mean, it's probably about to end, so I doubt he's going to say it, but I would love to hear it. That is his wife working as well? Because I love it when we love to, pick and, cherry pick shit. You say for the last 100 years or whatever, men have, been being in front of the TV. Now, I'm not disagreeing with that or whatever, but then on the flip side, for the last whatever years you said, women have stayed in the kitchen, right? When you stick to gender norms, well, you stick to gender norms. When you go against it, you have to go against it, right? So obviously this is a thing where, this is why I find some of these panderers illogical, right? If you don't put 100% burden on anybody, right? 100% burden on anybody, What does that mean? That means they have time, they have energy for other shit. So if he's not 100, if the burden of responsibility of providing isn't on his shoulder 100%, he has energy. He has time to put it into other things, like being there for his kids, having time for his kids, having energy for his kids. That's logical, right? Because the wife is taking some of that burden. She is also contributing financially.
You just have so much common sense. I think I've done men dirty by not having the expectation that they'd be more involved in parenting, and also just men going out and working in offices with briefcases and just taking off and being gone. That's actually not traditional at all. For all of human history, we have worked together in these agrarian societies where our children were apprenticing or actually working in field, working the businesses with this. So the fact that dads are now removed from the homes because of late stage industrialized, capitalistic American lifestyles, that's not natural. That's not traditional. And we need to just, yeah.
Sure. Whatever you say, what's traditional? Okay. What do you guys think? Okay. I may do more reactions to this man, or we'll see. We will see. Um,
Let me tell you something.
okay, so this will be a whole bunch of clips where I'm going to show you the miserableness of women. Okay, it's going to be interesting. Um, so I that's and I want to say, right, some of these TikTok videos, I hate how the sounds are always not very evened. Some are loud, some are quiet, which is always madly annoying. But it is what it is. So excuse me of that. If they're quiet, I'll try to not say anything and just let it play out. So hopefully, me not saying anything, you could hear you could hear her, you could hear them talk louder, but we'll see.
It has not been my loss yet. I have literally never. Let me tell you something. It has not been my loss yet. I have literally never, and I mean never, left or been left by a man and thought to myself, oh my God, I just lost a good one. It has never happened, and it will never happen. I'm not a woman that you find twice. I am not a woman that you find twice. So if you...
One, sounds like you've never been with a good man. Two, okay, if they left you, why would they want to find you again? Or find a similar woman to you? I've said this before. It's the ego for modern day women. It's absolutely ridiculous.
want to be stupid, if you want to be stupid, please be my guest. I will gladly open the door for you. If you want to be stupid, do that. I will get the last laugh because you will search for me in every other woman that you date. And you won't find me because the counterfeits will never be as raw as the real thing. And you fumbled the real thing, stupid. I have exes that are still trying to circle the block because they went and dated other people and tried to find me and said people and couldn't find me, baby. You won't find me. I'm a once in a lifetime kind of chick. You won't find me. I think that we need to congregate and have a serious conversation about that gender, the state of that gender, because these men are not normal. They're not normal. They're evil. They have become increasingly evil. I was literally having a conversation with my friend about this last night. They have become increasingly evil, and it is quite concerning. I am about to employ.
Statistically, studies have shown that men have become comparatively, uh, compared to the past, men are actually less aggressive, less combative, less assertive, less violent. It is a statistical fact compared to the past. Right? She says more evil. Well, what are you comparing it to? The past? Which kind of ridiculous since it's always young women. Who are you comparing it to? What are you comparing it to? And then the ego. It's the utter. And I'm probably gonna say this a lot through these videos. These are the women, right? Why I built the case where I wish I support women staying single for the rest of their life. Please don't become baby mamas, right? Don't have kids. Be single. If you could, sterilize yourself because we don't need, more of you, right? We don't need you to produce the next generation. I hope you die out, right? People like you, I hope you die out. It's the ego that makes you guys insane, right? And it's the delusion, it's the hypocrisy, it's the absolute insanity. So this is why I said I stand on what I believe that these women, why I support women just being single. Please stop dating men. Stop dealing with men. Just please, like for you, right? I wish for you, right? Stop dealing with men. Stop dating men.
A word that I do not utilize often, but the way that men behave is absolutely demonic. Absolutely demonic. And this is coming from someone that identifies as agnostic. It's demonic. Their hearts are wicked. They are evil. I dealt with a man recently and realized
these men are evil. I dealt with a man. Do you not see the insanity of that? Men are evil. Now you talk about the one man you dealt with. So does that not say that you choose to deal with evil men? The men that I find this the stupidest, right? Where women, and you'll probably see this throughout this, women use the men that they choose as a template for all men. I swear God, women are idiotic.
that he took pleasure in making me upset. He enjoyed seeing me upset and enjoyed making me cry and enjoyed making me sad. They get off on that shit. Like, it makes them erect. They're sick.
Okay, they're sick, yet you are healthy for wanting to date them? I find this really, and again, I'm sorry, this is a 5-minute video, right? So, again, I have a lot of videos, so I want to just get through it, right? So I'm just reacting to it while watching it. I find it funny that women complain about the liars, the cheaters, the abusers, the whatever shitty ass men, yet you synonymously, constantly choose said men. Literally, exhibit A.
They're sick. They'll start off doing all the right things, saying all the right things, and then when you least expect it, they'll flip the switch, turn cold. It's truly like sociopathic, psychopathic shit. The mind games that they play, it's truly demonic, y'all. Like, I'm not playing. It's demonic. The mind games that they play, they always have to have the upper hand. They always have to have the upper hand. And don't even get me started on the jealousy. These men are literally jealous of women. They're jealous of us, y'all. Like, no joke. I dated a man earlier this year who was absolutely jealous of me. They look at you and they envy you for all of the things that drew them to you in the first place. They look at you and they see all of the things that they could never be. You could never be this charming. You could never be this eloquent. You could never be this beautiful. You could never be this witty. You could never work a room like this. They see us and they see everything that they're not and that they could never be. And I know that when videos like this are made, women always feel the need to disclaim that it's not all men. I'm not saying it's all men. Well, I'm saying it. It's all men. It's all men, and I don't care who's offended. It's all of them. It's all of them. Even the so-called nice ones. It's all of them. They're all sick. It's like it's in their DNA, bro. I swear to God, men are fucking possessed. The way that they act, the way that they behave is so abnormal. It's not funny, y'all. Like,
And yet, her examples are the men she's attracted to. It's the men she dates. That's her examples. Men she goes for. And this is the thing where, you know what? This is why I don't mind saying women, right? I mean, I don't. Because at the end of the day, right? Women do not have a problem with saying all men. Women don't have a problem with saying all men. So this is why I even though I don't believe it's all women, but fuck it, right? Fuck it. Just like her, right? I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem. Women. I will say women. I don't need to fucking make a distinction. I don't, because women don't have a problem with it. Women think it's logical to paint such a broad brush, to paint all men with the same brush. So, again, this is why I love making these videos, because here's the thing. I have video proof of women's insanity. Video proof. All right? I have a catalog, thousands of videos, right? Or at least hundreds of videos of showing women's delusions, their hypocrisies, their insanities, okay? The weakness of their arguments.
sharing a planet with them is hell. They're gross. They're sick.
You still date them.
Like, I don't think that they can be rehabilitated, bro. I know that we often say, like, seek therapy. I don't even think therapy can save these niggas. They get off on seeing the light leave your eyes. I can't remember the name of the trend that was done recently where formerly married women were sharing pictures of themselves while they were married, in which they looked absolutely disheveled, absolutely just like a mess, and they looked sick. Some of them looked sick, looked inflamed, red eyes, just looked sick. And then they shared pictures of themselves post-divorce, in which they looked absolutely stunning, in which they were absolutely glowing. Men are the fucking problem. They're the fucking problem. They're demonic, bro. Like, men deserve to be alone. Niggas is talking about a male loneliness epidemic. Good. By the way, the male loneliness epidemic is self-inflicted. They created their own hell. They created that. They don't know, they don't know how to treat people. They don't know how to treat women. They don't even fucking like women. The male loneliness epidemic was created by them. Man.
It's going to be hard. This is going to be hard, right? Watching all these videos is going to be hard, because this is why I probably need a break. I'm probably going to need a break, because these women are insufferable. They are utterly, utterly insufferable. Again, do you wonder why I constantly go back to just stay single, right? These women, this is the thing. I just did a live where, we're talking about MGTOW, right? Literally, men have created a movement to stay away from these women like this. So men are not crying about being single. Like, literally, even this male loneliness, do you even see a single man crying about being single or crying about being alone? I don't see men complaining, oh my God, I'm so alone. Or, oh my God, I'm like, oh, the male loneliness thing. No. God, women are unbearable.
We're in a fine nigga drought. I go outside and I see beautiful women every day, right? We're not lacking in beautiful women. I step outside and I'll see 5 beautiful women easily. But it seems like I only see a fine man once every blue moon. Excuse me. What's tea? What's up with that? I feel like fine niggas only exist on TV, on the internet. You know what I mean? Like what's happening? What's happening? Can someone explain to me like we're in a drought, right? Like we're in a drought, right? A fine nigga drought. Talk to me. We're in a drought, right? Because something's not adding up. The math is not mathing. I step outside. I see, like, no joke, no exaggeration. I see beautiful women every day, multiple times a day. Like, what's up with the men though? You know what I mean? Like, these niggas are not fine no more. I feel like I see a fine man once every blue moon. What's up? What's tea?
I try my best not to insult women's looks because honestly, I don't want to stoop to that low. But it's always the average ass women that complains there's no good looking men. I find it funny. I mean, I could really dig in deep about looks. I could. And I know you guys would. But it's always women like this, looking like this, that says there's no good looking men around. Okay. And I show these videos because it's the hypocrisy. One video saying, oh, you know what? Men are evil. Why do you give a shit if there's good looking men or not? Men are evil. All men are evil. All men are terrible. All men should be just sick, right? It's like, where is it? Right? This is the problem with women, right? You say 1 minute you decenter men. The next minute you say men are this, men are that. You keep on talking about men. Men are not out here saying, oh, I'm going to decenter women and then continue talking about women. Continue wanting women. Continue where are good women at? Or where are the beautiful women at? Are you crazy? You literally said men are evil. Men are terrible. Men should stay sick. All these things, all of these ugly ass rhetoric against men. And now you wonder where good looking men are? Why would you even wonder that?
Do you want to know why the dating pool is as awful as it is? One of many reasons why the dating pool is as awful as it currently is and has been for the past few years.
Because of women like you.
I'm realizing more and more that most men are not in it for the connection. They have no desire, no real desire.
Not in it for the connection. Yeah, this bitch just talk about there's no good looking men out there. I love the internet. I love the internet. If you are a man that makes content, male-centered content, you have plenty of material to show women's hypocrisies.
To connect. They have no desire to get to know anybody. They have no desire to learn anything about anyone or themselves. They're simply in it, right, because they're looking for people to be impressed by them. Yeah. It's evident in the things that they speak most about, whether that's what they do for work or how much money they have or, how ambitious they are, like that means anything at all. It's evident in the questions that they ask. Oftentimes they will ask very specific questions, and it's not because they care at all to hear what your answer is to said question. It's because they want to answer it. They want to answer the question and hope that you'll be impressed by what their answer is. And what I think that a lot of these men fail to realize is that they're very deeply unimpressive. They are so painfully unimpressive. And the things that they think make them impressive don't mean shit at all, right? Like I said, a lot of men will like talk about themselves a lot. They'll talk about what they do for work or what they've done or what countries they've traveled to or how much money they've made. And it's like, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit.
You don't give a shit. Yet you literally a few seconds ago you said men don't want deeper shit. You don't care about him. Yet you think he should care about you? I love women's hypocrisy.
If you're not a decent person, I don't give a shit. If you're not a kind person, I don't give a shit. If you're not someone that cares about other people.
Do you I just showed you 2 videos of this woman. Do you think this woman even cares about men? Do you even does this woman even come off as caring? As kind? Please tell me. Maybe I'm delusional. Maybe I'm delusional.
I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? The things that they think make them impressive, the things that they think make them a catch, are so wildly unimpressive. And I'm just realizing more and more, like, these niggas are not in it to connect. Like, they're not in it to connect. It's evident in the lack of curiosity, okay? Like I said, they'll ask you very specific questions, but like I said, they're not interested in hearing what you have to say about the matter, right? They're not genuinely interested in your answer. They just want to answer the question. You'll be talking to these niggas and it feels like you're conducting an interview. It feels like you're conducting an interview. You're asking all these questions, genuinely trying to get to know someone, and they're just answering. They're just answering. And so I say all this to say,
This is why women are illogical. When you ask a question, you should answer. What do you mean? Like they're not going in deeper, right? They're not having deeper answers. Then okay, but just saying they're just answering. No fucking duh. You ask them a question. I swear to God, do women not have like actual critical thinking? You ask them a question, they answer said question. Now, if you said they're not going deeper into their answers, fine. How about ask them, right? It's like, oh, could you explain? Or, I would love to hear more. Or it's like fucking women are.
that, like, I don't even know. I don't even know. I just felt like getting this off my chest. I don't even know. I think that these niggas are just disgustingly unimpressive. And I think we should tell them that more. We should tell them that they're losers, and no amount of money, no amount of accolades or degrees can unloser a loser. I'm learning that more and more as I get older. None of that shit can unloser a loser. At their cores, these niggas are losers. You know? So, yeah. Yeah. Do you want?
Although I can go in on this woman, you wonder why I've said that I don't support all men. I only support good men, or what I deem as good men. Why? Because here's the thing. A woman as disgusting as this, she has options. A woman as disgusting, as absolute heinous as this, she has option. Because men are ruled by their desire for women. Men's weakness are women and lust. Men are weak. That's why I don't support all men. This is why I don't desire to have like millions of men following me. I don't care because honestly, I've seen it with other content creators. You get such a despairing or such a wide range of views in these men, right? A lot of these men may follow these content creators, but they don't. They're just as weak, right? They will still go for shady ass women like this. They don't have the discipline. They don't have the straight. Because I would not deal with a motherfucker like this. I would rather suffer loneliness than deal with someone as miserable as this. And I'm pretty sure, I'm going to show you this. I'm pretty sure almost every single woman I'll show you tonight, I'd rather be alone than even be in the vicinity of any of these women. And some of these women are decent looking. Some of these women are decent looking, right? Some of them are even highly attractive. But I'd rather suffer loneliness than even wake up to such an ugly, ugly ass person. And I can tell you this right now. I don't desire to have a crazy ass huge following, because honestly, I'm going to get following from men I honestly don't like. Because I can tell you this right now. If you are a type of man that has no boundaries, no self-respect, that you will deal with women like this, don't follow me. Don't. Right? Because honestly, you are a weak ass man. And that's what, not about how strong you are, right? I care about how mentally strong you are, right? I care about, how strong your heart is. I care about your discipline. I care about you not making women your weakness.
If men didn't exist, the world would be perfect. It would be pretty calm and peaceful. Men ruin everything. Like, just imagine a life without men. That would be a dream come true. If men didn't exist, the world would be perfect. It would.
I've said this before. If women were men, they would be incels. If women were men, they would be black pill. Women, you literally, this video, right? Imagine these videos, right? Imagine if these were all men and their talking points, their talking points word for word were exactly the same. The only thing changes if they say a woman or if they say a man, they meant a woman, right? So again, just flip the genders of what they're saying. Please, if you could, right? If you could imagine it, imagine if all these women I'm showing you were actual men and then their talking points were exactly the same. The only difference is flip the genders of what they're saying. I guarantee you, majority of people will view these as incels.
I could never get married because I can't imagine having a bad day and then having to go home to a man. Or I can't imagine waking up every day next to a man. Absolutely not. My day would instantly be ruined. Like, I would never have a good day. Absolutely not. I could never get married because I can't imagine having a bad day and then having to go home to a man. Or I can't imagine waking up every day next to a man. Absolutely not. My day would instantly be ruined. Like, I would never have a good day. Absolutely not. I couldn't.
Most of the women I'm showing you tonight literally built a platform of just hating on men. Like, I do not like. I find it like hilarious that I get people coming on to my. I recently had one, right, not too long ago, of a man coming on my my live and saying that I bully women, I hate on women. Please show it to me. Right? I don't. This right here, that's pure hate. That's hate. Nothing she said is that, oh, you hold men accountable. Where is that? Literally, it's just hate. Like, oh my God, men being around me, waking up to a man that honestly you chose. Oh, that's terrible. Me, I hold women accountable for the words they say and the actions they do. I just don't say shit just to say shit or say it out of nowhere. I have video fucking proof.
Sis gonna tell me what I'm successfully married and you just mad because your marriage failed. I say, oh, okay. I said, sis, you might be right, but I want to know how successful your marriage really is. Right. So pull back. It's for every woman who married or in a long-term relationship. Pull back from everything. No love making, no cooking, no cleaning, no nurturing, no asking him how his day was, no feeding into his ego.
So you essentially said, okay, every woman that's in a relationship, act like you're not in a relationship? And what? You expect them to like love it? One, plenty of men are still in sexless marriages. So, and two, the correlation that, okay, how about let me do nothing for you? Let me not treat you nice, treat you with kindness, respect, and love, and see how you act? What the hell you think is going to happen? That's idiotic. Right? Say, okay, hey, ladies, don't love your man. See what happens. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you dense? No, duh. What man was like, okay, you know what? My wife doesn't love me anymore. My girlfriend doesn't love me anymore. And she's showing it. But you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to still love on her. Like, if men don't show you any love, right? Absolutely no love and disrespects you, you think you'll stay in it? That's not the fucking problem.
No taking care of him, no asking him anything like that makes him feel great. Pull back from all of that. And when you do that, sis, one or two things gonna happen to show you if he really like or love you. If he really fuck with you like that, he gonna pick up your slacks, notice a problem, ask you what's going on, try to fix it, try to make sure everything good. But if he don't fuck with you like that, then you already know.
At the end of the day, if you got with a man that communicates, then you chose a man that communicates. Let's hold women accountable for their actions. If you chose a man, I find it really insane. Did he not have communication skills when you were dating? I mean, you dated him, right? Did he not have communications when you got engaged? I mean, you got engaged with him, right? Did he not have communication skills when you married him? Because you married. I find it like, why do women constantly do this, right? It's like women deem like, okay, the day I met you is the day I married you. Or is it the day I met you, a couple years later, is when I married you? So what the fuck were you doing during that whole time?
Mean spirited. You got a booty face. And you know you got a booty face. You look like a feminine ogre. That's your whole build. You on here trying to tell women in happy marriages how to test their marriage and yours failed. What are you talking about? Ew. Oh yeah. How about you stop doing your part of the whole marriage and everything that y'all agreed upon and how to treat each other to see if he really feel good about that? Because that's what the reaction would come from. If you got a bad reaction from listening to everything negative that she just said due to your man, there would definitely be a bad reaction to how he's being treated. If you're being treated bad, you're going to react to that. Could you imagine a man and a woman get together and they decide that his role is to be Mr. Provider Man and her role is to cook and clean? And one day he just says, I'm not going to be Mr. Provider Man anymore. What the fuck? She has every right to be like, what? Why? I don't think I like this. I think we've been married for 5-10 years and all of a sudden you doing this. Why would you do that? That's how stupid you sound. Oh, you love and adore and your woman and take her out on dates and pay the bills and do all this, that, and the third. Yeah. Watch. I bet if you stop doing all that abruptly, she gonna be fucking mad at you. No shit, Sherlock. Yeah, and that, if she get mad, that means she don't really love you, cuz. Or y'all just get, oh my God, bro, we gotta ban y'all from cell phones. Take your miserable spirited ass somewhere. Please get off the internet.
There is no male loneliness epidemic. It is a loser epidemic. Men would rather be alone than to evolve and change, than to recognize, wait, maybe I had it wrong. Maybe there's something I need to change. If you can't get a woman because none of them want to be with you, maybe try and figure out why. Instead of making women the problem and saying that their standards are too high, maybe try and figure out why they don't want to be with you. What is it about you that maybe needs to change in order for a woman to want you? And they'll say, oh, there's no more good women left. Women are not like what they used to be. Women used to spend their days in the kitchen. generation, women only cared about taking care of the house and the kids. Oh yeah, and also women used to take our beatings. Women used to stay quiet. Women didn't complain. Women didn't think they could get better. Women didn't have confidence and self-worth and weren't able to speak up for themselves. And that suited you. That's the kind of person you wanted. If you love your mom's generation so much, cool, maybe marry one of her single friends. Women are not the problem. They have just woken up and realized they deserve better, that they don't actually need anything from these men, and they're only going to accept a man in their life if the man can make their life better. And if you cannot do that, you will not be chosen. If you can't level up.
If you don't need anything from a man, why do you want to be with a man that makes your life better? You don't need it. The utter hypocrisy.
And be the kind of man that women of this day and age want, you won't get to have a woman in this day and age. Your tricks are not working anymore. The internalized misogyny, the oppression, all of that is not working anymore. Women are waking up from it. Women are healing. Women are learning to love themselves and their own company. Women are learning to support and love each other and have communities and have friendships that are valuable and fulfilling. We now know that getting married and having children is a choice, that you don't have to do that, that is not what makes you successful or fulfilled in life. In fact, having kids when you haven't healed yourself and you don't know your own worth is actually the problem. It's why so many, if not all of us, have childhood traumas, have issues. What's happening right now is very normal. It's called evolution. It's happened many times before. When conditions change in the world, you either evolve to survive or you get left behind. This is evolution. Instead of complaining about it, evolve. There is no male loneliness epidemic.
Whew, all these videos are going to be taxing. All these videos are going to be taxing. I'm sorry. I'm going to preface it that I'm sorry, guys, right? But it needs to be shown, because I hope that after watching all these videos, it just ingrains into you guys that women are miserable. We need more men to either go MGTOW or do passport bros. Men are evolving. Men are adapting. You just won't like it. You won't like it, right? Because in the West, there's a growing population of men just staying single, of men getting out of the dating market, not complaining about it. This is a thing where men are not complaining about it. Men are not expecting women to change. I don't believe that, right? Men are not saying, oh, women need to go back to how it was. No, men are not asking for it. Men are not forcing women to change. What are men doing, right? Again, either go MGTOW, staying single, or they're doing passport bros. They're finding women that fit what they want instead of, and that's what I like, right? That's what I like about how men think. I'm not going to force change on you, right? You do what you want to do. It's not my right to force you to change. But as a man, it is logical. I know that I can find a woman that fits what I want. I'm not expecting women to change, but I'm going to find a woman, if I want to, right, that fits my ideology. Men know that there are women that will fit your ideology, fit what you want. Seems like women are suffering through that.
Making the decision to opt out of dating is like making the decision to opt out of the Matrix. One of my favorite creators, Mika, Mika, I hope you pronounce it Mika. If it's Micah, I'm really sorry if this video somehow gets to her. But she made a video talking about how at 29 years old, she has decided that she has opted out of dating. I myself decided to opt out of dating out of my last relationship that had ended in March of the beginning of this year. Dating men is traumatizing. There is no other way to put it. Dating men is traumatizing. Every time you put yourself back into the dating pool, no matter how much self-improvement you've done, no matter how many times you followed all of the rules that people have told you to follow, no matter how...
One, you don't self-improve to be a better partner for a man. Two, you don't follow rules that men have said. You follow rules that other women have said. So really, please, I 100% support you for opting out of dating. P.S. This is a stripper too, or an ex-stripper.
many times you put yourself out there, no matter how many times you betray yourself, no matter how much you don't speak up and you try to conform yourself to be the perfect woman that a man wants you to be, you are going to be left traumatized after dealing with a man. No amount of optimism, no amount of positive thinking, no amount of fantasy, no amount of...
I said this already, that I think all of these women, or at least the majority of them, their whole content, their whole shtick is a lot of male hating content.
Empty promises is going to mark you safe from dealing with the traumatizing experience that comes from dating men. Women should not have to be repeatedly traumatized by several men in order to potentially, emphasis on potentially, be able to find a person that is not going to traumatize them. And then to expect said person, after getting traumatized repeatedly, to pretend like they have never been traumatized in their life. Women that have decided to opt out of dating are not jaded, they're not angry, they're not bitter. Women are realizing that, why would I sign up to...
Sounds like all that. And I always love it. Lack of accountability. You chose these men. I always find it funny when it comes to women, where it's women who have, like, let's say you go to an ice cream shop, you have 100 different flavors to pick from. 100 different flavors, right? The one flavor you choose to pick, you got it. Taste it. And it's like, that's disgusting. I can't believe this is disgusting. Why is this so disgusting? This thing is so disgusting. I hate it. Right? It's so I mean, like, I blame you for giving it to me. I blame this for being disgusting. Did anyone force you to choose that? Did anyone force you to choose that? Right? And then, you know what? So funny, right? You threw that flavor away. You know what? I'm gonna pick that same flavor again. Hope it tastes different the second time. Really? Bitch, you're stupid.
Repeatedly be traumatized. Why would I sign up for a situation when I have to cross my fingers, pray, and lie to myself that this will not be a situation that will traumatize me? How often do women have to put themselves in harm's way, hoping that they meet someone that is not going to harm them, that is not going to disrespect them, that isn't going to mistreat them? It's a fucking waste of time. It's a waste of energy. It is a waste to keep on playing this fucking game and being on this carousel of trauma that men repeatedly give women when it comes to the dating experience.
And you choose.
It's not worth it. The value of a man is not worth me going through several traumatic experiences to have one or to keep one. There is no value so great that a man possesses that I want to repeatedly keep putting myself in predicaments that make me feel bad, that hurt my feelings, that don't make me happy, just to say that I have a boyfriend. That if I have to be lonely and die with cats and die alone, then I'll allow that to happen to me. But you want to know what's not going to happen to me? I'm not going to be getting on this internet talking about how my husband hasn't worked in 8 years and it turns out that he actually is a PDF file because he was touching children while he was a teacher. At least I don't have to sit on here and get on the internet talking about...
You know what I find it funny is that women constantly pick the exceptions, not the rules. Women always, and it's fine, right? It is what it is. People do this, right? You always pick the negatives, not the positive, because that's just your mindset. You always see the negativity. It is what it is, right? People do that, right? It's. I think it's human nature, right? We see the negatives, we don't really see the positive, it is what it is, right? When you are this kind of person, particularly in the dating market, I'm glad. I'm happy, right? This is Again, you know, it might be surprising, but I'm supporting her. Thank you for opting out of the dating. The only issue is that even if you opt out, you still will fucking talk about men. I Even though you say I don't want to deal with men ever again, still talk about them. I just wish that these women would 100%, like, the whole lexicon of the word men, the word male, whatever, is disappeared from your vocabulary. I wish.
How I made macaroni for my husband and I wanted him to save me some and he fucking ate it all. At least I don't have to get on the internet and make a 12-year anniversary post about how my husband told me that I should be grateful that he didn't unalive me because he actually is incentivized to. Freeing yourself from the expectation.
I do point out that, you know, like she said it, okay? There's a plenty of women that are married, chose the man they married, and go online to just shame him, to show how poorly you pick men. I said this before, right? You wanted a good guy, you could have picked a good guy. You wanted a guy that would have been sensitive to your feelings, to be emotionally intelligent, you could have picked that man, right? You wanted a man that would treat you with love and respect, you could have picked that man. You just wasn't attracted to that man. There's no excuse.
Of constantly having to perform for men to be in the dating pool is one of the best feelings that you're ever going to have if you ever reach that stage in your decentering men journey. Because as a woman, to not care about people's opinion is to not allow people to control you. And to not allow people to control you is to put men in a position where they do not have any power. And for a man, that is the worst position for him to be in. The amount of dignity that women have to lose in order to be in a relationship or a marriage with a man is dehumanizing. It's demoralizing. It is a humiliation ritual. You are literally signing up to go to the pits of hell, and at what cost? To say that you have a ring on your finger that isn't going to be able to melt? To have a ring on your finger that's going to shine so bright temporarily that you forget about all the pain and trauma and destruction that this man has caused and that is continuously causing in your life? Opting out of dating means that I don't have to repeatedly be traumatized. And people can say all day long, choose better, choose better, choose better. That's literally like telling someone, you need to go to the casino and you need to make sure that you choose the perfect slot that you are going to win on every single.
Choosing better does not mean choosing perfect. This is why women are stupid. Choosing better does not mean choose perfect. My brother-in-law, okay? I've said this before. I think my sister is unbearable, right? I can never imagine any man desiring to be married to her, and I love her, right? She's a great sister. She's one of the women that I believe is madly intelligent. Okay, she's madly intelligent. She is like I seriously, I go to her for advice sometimes, okay? Because she is madly intelligent, madly emotionally intelligent, even though she's very dry with her emotions, right? But because she's very logical, right? Which is crazy for women. But she's picked the perfect man that is imperfect himself. The man is short, he's chubby, he's very average looking. Money is average, nothing crazy. It's like he has charm to him, right? He's a charming man. But again, he's not perfect. But what she valued in this man is his character, right? She valued his charm, right? His charm is good. He's a good talker, right? Great talker. But he's a good man. Right? He's a good man. He completes her. He cooks. He semi cleans, right? She cleans. She's a neat freak. So, but he cooks for her. He's a great husband, a great father. It's like, it's not about picking perfect. It's picking right. It's focusing on actual, right, traits that are more valuable for the long term. She chose a man that is Focus on being a good husband. Focus on being a being a good father. Focus on, making up for her flaws, making up for her deficiencies. Okay, he completes her. Literally, I would say that they are soulmates, right? Soulmates, which is like insane. That I've, after stop being a child, I don't believe in soulmates anymore. But if I had to, they are the example of a soulmate to me, right? Because he literally completes her. He's not angry. He's not fast to anger. He's very happy-go-lucky. He's very cheerful. My sister is very dry. If she has an emotion, it is anger, right? If she has an emotion, it will be anger. So she's very direct, very blunt. I mean, like literally, he's the complete opposite to her. But he completes her. You don't need to pick perfect. You just need to pick right. That is it. Okay? Man is much shorter than me. The man is sometimes even chubby. It's like literally looks is average at best. So it's not about look, not about height, not about money. It's about who he is inside. Right? It's about who he is inside. That's what she valued. These bitches don't.
Time. Because that information and that advice is disingenuous as fuck. And anyone telling you that you should be choosing better, they're trying to humiliate you. They're trying to blame the fucked up pool of men that there is out there. They're trying to blame it on you. The shitty dating pool of men has nothing to do with me. I'm not going to sift through garbage to try to find something that isn't fucking rotten when I'm already digging in a goddamn garbage. That's where the men are. The men are literally in garbage and are telling you, you need to be picking fresh produce out of a goddamn garbage can. How dare you go in the garbage and you're looking and you don't find something that is fresh and healthy and good for you in a goddamn garbage can where all of the men decide to go, where all of the men decide to hang out. The way that they live their life is reflection of garbage. The corn, the illegal activities, the constant consumption of women schmexually, the abuse.
Quite funny coming from a stripper. Quite funny. And here's the thing. There are plenty of men that don't consume that shit. There are plenty of men. It's like, this is a problem where women that, and again, I've been against, men that are over consuming, or men that are controlled by their lusts. That is disgusting in my opinion. You shouldn't be. You shouldn't let lust control you. And I've been on record of condemning these types of men. But again, those are not the only men out there. But yet, those are the only men you are attracted to, only men you deal with. So, again, it's you.
The violence. You live in the fucking garbage and you are expecting women to find something pure in garbage. But yet we have to stay pure for fucking garbage. We have to stay pure in order to sift through.
One, you're not pure. You're garbage. So you're attracting garbage.
Through fucking garbage and have garbage choose us. No, I am not going to put myself down in hell just so that I can have somebody that is full of fucking evil all over them. The freedom that comes along from opting out of dating is understanding that you gain freedom in every other sector of your life, because guess what? I have now removed one way that I don't have to constantly be traumatized and not get anything rewarded from it.
So I'm 29 years old and I have officially decided that I am not going to subject myself to the dating pool ever again. And disclaimer, I am attracted to men. And when I tell men this, of course, they don't believe me and they think they can change my mind. Surprise, surprise. But what I do find surprising is that when I tell women this,
and that's why I promote differently. Do not ever fucking try to change others. Don't. Do not try to change women's minds. I've said this before. I don't need hundreds of thousands, millions of men following me, because honestly, it's impossible to curate like-minded men. It is. It's impossible. Right? That's why I don't deal with that. I'm fine with the men that follow me actually, you know what? Agree with the shit I say. Maybe not 100%, but they are agreed with the core principles that I have. Don't fucking try to change women. I wish more women would opt out of dating. I wish. And it seems like it. Goldman Sachs have done a study that more women than ever before by 2030 will be single and childless. And I said it. I'm glad. We need less baby mamas in this world. We need less miserable women in this world, right? We need less of it.
Especially straight women, they're usually sad for me. And I swear I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to yuck anyone's yum, but what is there to be sad about? Have you met men? Like, I've seen women stay in crappy relationships with men solely because they know exactly what is out there and they do not want any parts of it. And of course, a lot of women think that I'm coming from a place of being jaded or bitter, but it's not so much the sucky experiences that I've had with men that put me off of dating. It's that even the great experiences that I've had with them do not measure up to the fun experiences and conversations that I have had with my family, friends, and community. Like, even the highs and the honeymoon phases that I've had with men in my past did not top the experiences and just life-changing conversations that I've had with my friends. And
This is a thing where when again, she has a I'm not saying that 100% her shit is only hating men, but I believe at least every time I've seen her, it's about men, right? And again, uh this is why I support, please, I'm glad. Stop dating men. Decenter men. 4B movement all the way, right? I wish more women like this would do it. Because in my opinion, it is bitterness. It is because here's the thing where most of these women have said it, right? They think, oh, it's no, I'm not jaded, I'm not miserable, I'm not. No, you are. You just don't see it. Okay, because you have an already underlining hate for men. You already see the negativity in men. So even if you have good experiences, you only see the negative. Okay, it doesn't measure up, right? It's not good enough. It's not because again, in your mind, it's a man. In your mind, it's a man already. So already, just being a man is already a negative. Being a man is already detract from you. You cannot have good conversation because you're a man. Right? You cannot. Which is funny because the more intellectual debates, the more intellectual conversations are from men, but okay.
please know that I'm aware that happy and fulfilling relationships can exist between men and women. I just don't think there's a need to be sad about women or femme people deciding not to date men. We're not wasting our youth or our beauty. Like, I promise you, we're okay. Real question half the time is, are y'all okay? So I'm 29. Although I tend to give out a lot of advice to women on how to navigate the patriarchy through the lens of gender studies, I've come to the realization.
And are you surprised that women like that? She like what she just said. Are you surprised that she doesn't value men? Right? Even the great experience she has with men, she won't see any value in it. Because this is the thing. This is what feminism produces, right? It's already poison. So no great experience can ever compare, can ever even measure up. Because honestly, you already see the poison in men. You already view men as poison.
That I've never really been too vulnerable about my own issues that I've had with men or the mistakes that I've made when interacting with them on an interpersonal level or just on a systemic level. So without further ado, here are 5 lessons that I learned from 5 guys in the past. When I first got on Tinder around the age of 18, right out of high school, the first guy that I met up with definitely taught me that men will infiltrate and taint spaces that are designed for women that helps give them more agency or more hope when navigating their interactions with men, despite not necessarily being women-centered. If y'all remember the way that Tinder was marketed when it first came out, they made it seem like this was going to be a dating app that was a space to find romantic connection or even, casual friendships, and men straight up turned it into a hookup app. And let's just say when I met up with him, I found that out the hard way.
Men did it? I'm pretty sure that you have to like a man to interact with said men. Dating statistics have shown that women swipe on very few men. Data statistics have shown that women swipe on about 20% of men. When you blame, when you have gripes against all men, yet your data pool, right, that you source from, is only 20% of men, that shows you your low IQ. That shows you how disingenuous you are. When you use a small pool, right, to equate men, shows you your low IQ.
The second guy, who I also met through a dating app, because I guess I didn't learn my lesson the first time, taught me that men are greedy. Like they just aren't satisfied with any amount of affection.
2 men, and then you say men. I try my best not to insult women, but I'm trying.
You give them. And as someone who was freshly dating and didn't date too much in high school, that was really shocking to me. Like if you give them a hug, they'll want a kiss. If you give them a kiss, they'll want some touching. If you give them some touching, they'll want some, and so on and so forth. The third guy, which is one that I met when I was 19, and if y'all know what that means, then you know this was a canon event, taught me that the words I love you mean absolutely nothing to a lot of men. Because men had marketed themselves as being incapable of expressing themselves emotionally, I thought that when they said, I love you, that they had to mean it, because according to them, it was really hard for them to say it. Trust, it is not hard for them to say it, to write sonnets, poems, songs about you, as long as they think they are getting something that they want. The fourth guy I was seeing freshly out of a relationship, and he literally offered himself up as a rebound and said that we can keep this casual and there's no pressure. One night he asks me if I had been seeing anybody else aside from him. I was like, yes, I just saw somebody 2 weeks ago, and all of a sudden the mood changes, but then he quickly snaps back. Only he didn't snap back, because the next day he texts me that while he appreciated my honesty, it's not good for me to be too honest because it may throw guys off. But also, I should be honest because that is the right thing to do, and if I had hooked up with somebody, he would really want to know, but not too honest. If that explanation made you feel like you were having a stroke, congratulations. You learned, just like I did, that men are not nearly as logical or rational as they claim to be. Half of them are moving through their ego, half of them are moving through emotions, but logic is not in the room. And finally, and unfortunately,
I don't know you, right? I don't know about you, but if I can impart some critical thinking onto you. When you listen to all these women, please think about this. What is the basis of their logic? What's the basis of their logic? When you think about it, it's the men they chose. It's not men. Okay? I've said this before. Why do you think I make distinction that women need to be more detail oriented, more specific? Why? The problem with a lot of women is that they don't realize you're not talking about men, right? You're not even talking about 51% of men. You talk about men you choose, men you're attracted to, men you wanted. Why do I say not even 51%? Because you got to think about this. Dating statistics is it's not necessarily 100% correct, right? I mean, I always said this. You take all statistics with a grain of salt, okay? But it's a good estimate, right? It's a good basis for building a logical conclusion or a logical path. Dating statistics already shown you that women only care about 20% of men. So even their logic, right, you could see that when you make it a bigger scale, it's not even women are not even talking about, or at least their pool, right? Pool of their dating pool, or their s- what's the word? Pool, I don't know. Pool of candidates, or whatever. Like their own logical um examples, their own examples in their mind. It's not even based on the majority of men, 51%. It is usually based on a small percent of men. 20% is a good basis. Let's say even we could expand it if we want to do it. 30, 40% of men. Still, not even half. And why do I put a grain of salt even expanding? Because you got to think, a lot of these women are dealing with the same men. A lot of these women are dealing with the same men. So here's this woman, right? Talking about a bunch of men she's dealt with. I guarantee you, these men that she's dealt with, other women are dealing with the same situations with the same said men. Because you got to think about the players, the pookies, the bad boys. These aren't one woman men, right? You also got to think the baby mama thing, the baby mama epidemic. Why is it that statistics show that there are more women with children than there are men with children? You would think that it would be equal, right? But it's not. Why? Because a lot of these women are dealing with the same men. So a lot of these women are sharing the same baby daddy. So even that you can't say men. Because again, if you're sharing the same, if like one man has 3, 4, 5 baby mamas, you're not dealing with men. You're dealing with one man. You're dealing with one man for every, let's say, 5 women.
Fortunately, my last ex, shout out to Janae Craig, taught me that men can absolutely hate your guts and continue to be in a relationship with you as long as you are useful to them in some way, shape, or form. The minute you feel like something is off, the minute you feel like this relationship just isn't fun or benefiting me anymore, you can leave. You can just leave. Although I tend to give out a lot of advice to women on how. So I recently saw this tweet, and pause to read it if you need to, but I genuinely feel that if more people, and especially women, recognized just how common this is, we would advance as a society. I'm gonna hold y'all's hands when I say this, but as long as you.
I think that's stupid, right? You saw the tweet. It says, marrying a man is marrying a woman he hates. Yet no example of it. You're just saying it. This is a thing where now you can maybe look at it in a different way. Where a man is marrying a woman where maybe he desires a 9, right? He desires a 9, or he wants he desires a supermodel that looks like a supermodel. But he's marrying a woman that doesn't, right? He wants a woman that's a 9, marrying a woman that's maybe a 5 or a 4. And maybe in that mind, when you think about that, right? You think about those numbers, you think about that, the words I said. You think, oh, he must hate her. He must hate the woman that he's marrying. But if you look at it differently, it isn't that he hates her. It's that, you know what? He rather trade off that, you know what? This woman that I'm marrying, her personality is amazing. She loves me. She cares about me. She wouldn't cheat on me. She wouldn't mistreat me. She actually wants me, right? Why don't you think about, oh, you know what? I love her for her personality. Instead of, you know what? I love her because she's a 9. Because she's, instead of getting with a 9. If I get with a 9, she'd probably cheat on me. She'd probably mistreat me. She probably just wanted to take my money. Because here's, like I said, right? When my sister, right now, my sister, when my sister was young, plenty of men wanted her, right? But she chose a man that, visually wouldn't necessarily be on her visual level. Okay? But she chose him based on who he is inside. That's the thing where, why can't men do the same? It's like, I find it funny that again, I'm just talking about in the particular case, because the person didn't give no details. But why is it that a woman can love a man for who he is inside, but a man can't do the same? And then you think that, oh, if he's like not getting with a woman that he's like 100% attracted to, he must be settling. He must hate her. No, he's not focused on that. Like, even if you, like, this is a thing where even if you date a 9, right? You think that you will never find no other women attractive? You think you would never find a woman that's even more attractive than the woman you are dating? There's always one that's always better looking.
You are useful to a man, he does not have to like you in order to keep you around. You pair that with the fact that we are living through late stage capitalism, and it is not difficult to see how this dynamic is created. Because in these,
And to assume that he doesn't like you and he's only with you because you're useful to him. This is why I'm glad that women like this are opting out of dating. To think that a man just sees your usefulness. Oh, not because he loves you for who you are, right? Even though, yes, it's like, so are we dating people that would like absolutely are useless to us? That absolutely mistreat us? This is probably why, right? Women like this become miserable because they date men that, you know what, don't see any value in them besides whatever, right? It's like you wouldn't want a person that treats you with love, respect, actually thinks about you, actually wants to be with you, actually, doesn't mistreat you.
times, it's not always about how much money you make, but rather how much money you can save, making the free labor that women provide an invaluable asset. I mean, I don't know about you, but if I was working 8 to 12 hours a day and I had someone come around who would
I already talked about this, right? The free labor thing. It has been shown that women do about 58% of this free labor, while men do about 42. It's not like it's such a insane gap, like such a amazing, free labor. Not. Men are actually holding up their own.
was cooking for me for free, doing my laundry for free, cleaning my house for free.
And is it for free when you are providing a roof over our head? You're providing the bills and utilities, the rent or the mortgage. Is it free? Taking her out on dinner dates, buying her gifts, taking her on trips. Is that really free? But I guess women don't care about that.
Having and raising my children for free, being a
Your
therapist for
children.
free, and being intimate with me for free. Dude,
One, a lot of women are not intimate when men desire them to be intimate. And second, why are women marrying or dating men that they get no pleasure from being intimate with? Why are women, uh, this is why, you wonder why this, like, you could hear it, right? Why are these women attracting such terrible men? Because honestly, they themselves are terrible women. Like, women like this will only attract the most, red flags of men.
saving me all this money, but then contributing money to the household, allowing me to live this balanced life that I want to live. My first rather unhinged thought is that this person would have to enter witness protection just to get away from me. And my second thought is that if they were to ever leave me, I would need to get another one. But being able to take advantage of someone guilt-free without reciprocating any of that is not an act of love, it's an act of hatred. And trust me, I know it's hard to accept that men would go through the very taxing steps of getting married, and especially to someone they hate. But if you think about it in the context that I just previously explained, it starts.
I find it interesting. So men get married to women they hate, yet men are not the ones to predominantly divorce. Does it not seem like women are getting married to men they don't like? Right? It's like, where's your proof? Because I can make correlation to women are the ones to predominantly file for divorce. And again, the number one reason for divorce is lack of commitment. Uh, Seems like she's not committed to him, in my opinion. Again, I'm making inference, right? If men hate women so much, particularly the ones they're married to, wouldn't men be the ones to divorce the women they hate? Like, it seems like a logical path to follow, right? If you hate this woman so much, wouldn't you be the one to predominantly file for divorce? It seems like women hate these men so much, right? Women are settling. And how many times, this is a thing where it's predominantly, you hear the narrative, women use the word or are the ones saying, I settle. I don't hear men in mass saying they settled. I don't.
To make sense. While horrifying and unjustifiable, it starts to make sense. So I recently saw this tweet.
At this point, ladies, just stay busy.
Watch the whole video.
Stay busy, stay unreachable, and stay untouchable, because these men really don't like us.
You gonna see
they
why?
They don't like us. They lying. They pretending.
Yep.
They emotionally unavailable. They emotionally.
You see this shit, right? Cheated for 3 years, and I've been on here 3 years.
Men simply don't know how to cheat. I've had the same side for 3 years. Again, you know what? This is why you're going to suffer through it, right? You're suffering through it. Why? I have multiple videos of the same women, right? Because I let them speak. If you let women speak, you can hear their hypocrisies, their delusions, their insanity. We're suffering through it, right? But it's kind of interesting in a way, or at least for me, where I love to hear women say some shit and then show her hypocrisy, show her delusions, right? Shows how she don't make fucking sense.
Making these videos, and they say you must hate women because they trash, right? That lady just said 11 years she been cheating. This lady been cheating 20 years with her side nigga. She got 2 kids, probably don't even know who the father is. Somebody else got 20 years, 14 to 34. They bragging about being trash, the same trash they say we are. 15 years, 8 years, 5 years.
Ain't that something? Then I have a couple videos of women, right, saying how evil men are. How men are married to or dating women they hate. Out of the horse's mouth, right? Literally, here's women proving these other stupid ass women wrong. This is why I said I love, right, creating these videos. Because if men have if you hear women say shit, bring her to my video. Right? Bring her to a video that particularly will counteract the shit she spews.
Years. They don't care that they can get pregnant and ain't gonna know who the father is. But if you notice, they on here talking so much trash about men, and especially black men. They don't want to get married. They don't like us. They don't take us serious. It's because they need therapy. They got mommy and daddy issues. They're gay. All because y'all trash. But you know what's crazy? You always hear about those dudes who get cheated on in middle school and they never the same. It took me until I was 33 to finally just know I was never going to do this shit again. But then I hear the way they talk on the internet, and it's just a constant reminder to not do that. But the difference between me and a man they can complain about is I'm not going to continue to date and just treat them like the trash that they are, because that's what they like. That's why they connect with those men for longer. I just choose to stay single. But then they asking all these questions. How come men don't want to date? They can't come up with one reason. They think we don't see how they participating in the real world because they live in their mind and they tell themselves bullshit just to feel better about what they really doing. Subscribe to my YouTube, Planet Reality.
Marriage is meant to benefit men more than women, and a clear example of this is the fact that we generally do not hear about women having secret families, at least compared to men. And this is not because women don't cheat, right? Because anyone can cheat. That is not a gender-specific thing. It is more a mix of societal, logistical, and biological factors. So one, first and foremost, the idea of having kids. Women who are pregnant can't conceal that they are pregnant. And if they are able to hide that pregnancy, it is usually only up to an extended period of time until it is obvious that they are pregnant. So that is a dead giveaway. 2, child custody norms. Moms have a significantly higher chance of having custody of their kids compared to dads. And this also applies even if those kids are coming from different dads. So again, a woman is going to have a harder time hiding a family or multiple families if all of her kids live with her under the same roof in the same household. And 3, lack of opportunity. This is not necessarily saying that men are better at hiding things or sneakier, but that we know at this point that women are the ones who pick up the slack when it comes to emotional labor and mental load and invisible labor. So again, a woman who is already running a household is most likely not going to decide to pick up more work and put that on her plate to hide multiple households to run. I'm just going to leave this at that, but stay safe out there.
Literally showed no studies, no statistical basis for her views. Right? She used invisible labor, it's like sh- intangible shit to help prove her fucking argument. And the septum ring. Again, I've said this before. Feminism has poisoned Asian women as well. So don't just automatically think, oh, passport bro, because no, Asian women are no better, right? Absolutely idiotic.
Do you know that both men and women rate younger first dates as more desirable future partners? But the academic community, which is historically just a group of old men, had always just presumed that women like older men and men like younger women, and that worked for everybody, and so nobody thought to ask the women. But when they did think to ask them, they found that actually women rate younger men as more desirable future partners in the same way that men rate younger women as more desirable future partners. And it's really interesting because when they looked at 130 countries and they analysed the age gap, they didn't find a single country where the age gap was reversed, so where women were on average older than men. And this is despite the fact that women are saying that they prefer younger men. And what they think is that basically,
Well, what women say and what women do doesn't necessarily correlate, right? So you don't follow what fucking women say. You follow what they do.
we live in a patriarchy and men have more power and opportunity to exert their preference, and so they do. But when they
No accountability. Like, I just love it, right? No accountability. We live in a patriarchy. Women can't do what they want to do, right? Women can't do what they want to do, even though women say it. They can't do what they want to do. The patriarchy is stopping women from doing it. Like literally, men are the patriarchs are handcuffing women. Fathers are stopping women. Brothers are stopping women from dating younger.
analyse the preferences of men and women throughout their lifetimes, they found that men prefer to date younger women throughout their lives. Women, when they're younger, tend to date older men and prefer to date older men, and that is thought to be because of the liabilities of dating a younger man, because we know that men don't mature as quickly as women do. When women go into middle age, they tend to date men who are around the same age as them, and when they go into old age, they prefer to date younger men. And this is thought to be because we live in a patriarchy and women don't want to become a nurse to an old man. And in patriarchy, if you have a heterosexual couple and you are going into old age, it's going to be expected that the woman takes care of the man. So a lot of women who are older are removing themselves from the dating pool of dating older men and dating younger men because they don't want to become a nurse. Now, all of this comes with the caveat that when you look,
They don't become a nurse, but they become a sugar mama. They become easy access to sex.
at men and women and how they rate attractiveness across their ages, women tend to rate men who are around the same age as them as the most attractive. So they might be a few years younger, they might be a few years older, but they are around their age. Men rate women who are 22 as the most attractive consistently, however old they get. So when we're talking about women dating younger men, we're probably talking about women dating men who are 5 to 10 years younger than them, not 20, 30 or 40 years younger than them. It does happen, but it doesn't happen very often. Men, on the other hand, when we're talking about them dating outside of their age range and their preference for dating younger women, they're talking about being in their 30s, 40s and 50s and dating women who are in their early 20s. So there you go, you've learned something new about women and dating today. They too prefer younger. Just
Literally. I don't know what you learned. Okay.
I've been thinking about this a lot. I'm a girl and my ex actually resented how nice I was. It wasn't hot. So I've been thinking about this a lot. I'm a girl and my ex actually resented how nice I was. It wasn't hot. So my theory is that a lot of guys actually like being negged, which is why there's like popular dating theory for men that is you should neg women in order to get their attention. And I'm not saying that this doesn't work when it comes to dealing with insecure people of any gender. If you insult them in a way that makes them feel insecure and that they need to like win your approval or become desirable to you, this is like a pickup artist tactic, not something that I'd recommend if you want to be in like a healthy relationship. But following from this sentiment, I don't think that you need to neg people, but I also don't think you need to be overly nice. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't be kind and generous and respectful, but like overly people pleasing dynamics indicate to people who have like developed healthy boundaries that maybe you don't have healthy boundaries. And that is an uncomfortable pill, hard pill to swallow, and one that I had to swallow myself too. And for women, when it comes to dealing with men, like being just a little, not being so easy to talk to, you know, be comfortable with like throwing a joke back in a guy's face. It makes him feel kind of like there's something for him to chase. If it's too easy, he won't appreciate it. And as women, we are sometimes conditioned to think like, oh, men want things to be easy, so you should make it easier for them in order to be desirable. But I don't think that's true for men or people in general. Because the paradox of being a human being is that we want things to be easy, we want the path of least resistance, but subconsciously it's like you don't appreciate things that you didn't earn, or you don't appreciate things that you don't feel you have earned. So if you are being overly nice to someone who doesn't feel like he's done anything to deserve your...
I think she's conflating, right? I mean, it's not that great to react to, but she's conflating like being overly nice to just being, not one dimensional, right? It's like when you're playing around, right? Like she said, like throwing at jabs. That's just you're playing around, right? So not the same as just that's not what you say being overly nice. It's like you're making a relationship more more fun, more energized. So negging is not the same, right? Men don't enjoy being negged or nagged, right? No, it's just make things enjoyable.
It must be so peaceful living as a man, knowing that you could do things like walk your dog at night, go running at night, just exist in the world, really. Exist in a world where no one bothers you. This afternoon when I got to work, my manager, who's also my friend, but he told me how he had to save this young girl's life who was about my age this morning because a homeless man had her pinned up against the wall with his pants down, about to stick his you-know-what in her. And she was just walking her dog, crying uncontrollably. He literally saved her life. Really unsettling information to hear at the start of my shift where I'm supposed to be happy. But again, you men don't have to worry about things like that. Stay safe, ladies. Always. It must be
I love this where men predominantly experience violence. Men experience a whole lot more horrible violence than women do. You think a man walking around late at night would not be in high alert of violence? Yeah, no other man is wanting to fuck him, but they would want to kill him. They want to beat the shit out of him. They want to mug him. And here's the thing. No other man is going to come to his safety. No other man is going to come to his fucking rescue. Literally, you have the audacity, right, to come here and say that, oh, okay, here's a man that saved a woman. Please tell me a story of a man being saved by another man. Please tell me that.
Yes, having a boyfriend now is embarrassing because the jig is up. I saw that article in the Cut that questions if having a boyfriend now is embarrassing. And in my opinion, yes, it is, because we now know what it takes to maintain these long-term relationships with these men. We now know what it takes to even engage with them in a casual way at this point. It was assumed in the past that you would be taken care of, that they would be providing for you, that over time that the love would just grow. And now we know that's not what happens. Now we know when women get into these relationships, there is something that they're sacrificing, something, a part of themselves that they are completely abandoning and giving up in order to be in companionship with this male. No matter how much he likes you, no matter how much he worships you, no matter how much he wants to be there, no matter how much he likes you more than you like him, there is something embarrassing that you don't want to tell your friends that you put up with. I myself was embarrassed to tell y'all that I was in a relationship, which is so interesting because there was a point in time where I actually told myself, I'm going to have to settle if I want a man. And I remember that was the moment I was like, wait a minute. I want this too badly. Like, for what? Now when my friends talk about men, I join them. I don't lead with, oh, I got a man, so I'm out the street. I don't know what y'all talking about. Man, I do know what y'all talk about to this day. Okay, so yeah, having a man is embarrassing. I don't lead with it because what is the social currency at this point? When we know how much they struggle to meet women's expectations. Yes, having a boyfriend now is embarrassing.
How much they struggle to meet women's expectations. And she made a point, right? Women on this app constantly said, "Oh, you need to find a man that loves you more." Really? Because all these women do not love the men that love them more. I wish women would just stay single. I really do. I wish women would just decenter men. Stop talking about men. Stop talking about men. Stop dealing with men. Just stop it. Really, please stop it. You people are utterly, utterly miserable. Right? And I already shown you literally, a dozen videos. And I got more. I still got more. Right? Sadly, I still got more. I'm sorry. Yeah. And then the other woman saying that, okay, men marrying women, men marrying a woman he hates. Women, didn't I say that? Women talk about settling? I think women are the ones getting with men they hate.
For British Vogue, I wrote, "This piece is having a boyfriend embarrassing now." I know people are reading the headline, they're like, nah, nah, nah. But listen, for this piece, I interviewed a bunch of women. I spoke to them about why they hide their partners on social media, or they like post very inconspicuously about them. Some people said it was about privacy and this sort of unique, special privacy that you only afford your romantic partner. A lot of people spoke about the evil eye and this idea that, oh, if I post my partner, then people who are jealous of me will somehow, through their terrible vibes, ruin my relationship. Some people said that they felt as if they were scared to post because what happens when someone comes to them as a woman, or what happens when they break up and they have to, delete all the posts. And there's this whole feeling of like shame of having tried and failed to find love. And then there was a really interesting point that came across both people in relationships and single people. And this idea that like being in a relationship with a man and showcasing it to the world in and of itself was an embarrassing thing to do. And that's what I really wanted to get into. There was this idea of there not being a solidarity with other women. There was this idea of like a relationship just by default being something that rendered you quite uncool. I spoke about this podcast I came across where they were talking about, is it lame to have a boyfriend? And they say, when I meet a girl and she has a boyfriend, I automatically just kind of put her in a box or in a category, and I just don't feel as inspired or engaged by her. And then when someone doesn't, I feel like they have so much life and prospect, and they are just entertaining and fun, and I kind of feel empowered by their individualism. But interestingly, the girls talking about this on the podcast, agreeing with this idea that like girls without boyfriends are cool, are also in relationships themselves. And so I was thinking so much about how it is very uncool to be a boyfriend girl. It is very uncool to be a my man person. And I spoke to both just people who are on social, but also content creators and influencers about what happens when they post their partners, right? A lot of them lose a lot of followers, especially if they were already single. And this idea that now you are someone's girlfriend and you're posting about this, it's something that people automatically disengage from. I do it too. If I follow someone because they, I don't know, post their outfits and all of a sudden it's their boyfriend every day, I'm just like mute. I came here for a reason. But this is happening like across the board. And like just culturally, I think a lot of like the days of a man being a prize has really changed. It's really changed. And obviously this has come from like just the empowerment of single women in general, but also just how the trajectory of men and women are going in completely opposite directions. And now we're having to look at heterosexuality with the political lens that we've looked at other sexualities. And we really have to evaluate, if we are a part of this thing, what does it mean? And so it's a really interesting piece. I think people should go and read it and should go and check it out. And I've also found the backlash to it. You know, I think a lot of women in relationships will say, well, you know, I hate all men apart from my man. He is a feminist and he is a this and he is a that, and I shouldn't feel embarrassed and blah blah blah. But the thing is, I think we have to be honest with ourselves. If people want to scream like men are trash, I hate all men, men are trash, I hate all men, and then you shack up with a man and you're like, but not my man though, and someone says that's embarrassing, this is the culture that we've created and we've fostered, right? And so I think a lot of people want to have their pie and eat it too. When there's nothing wrong with that, but I just think as we become a lot more,
I kind of agree with her, right? I mean, that last part, I definitely agree. I mean, it's not like she's not perpetuating it, but
critical of heterosexuality, I just think those, you can't sit comfortably in that anymore, which I personally think is a good thing, because it means that we are like deepening heterosexuality. We're thinking so much more critically about what it is we're engaging in, and we're being conscious about our choices, which I think is important. But yeah, go and read the piece. Sorry to drone on and on and on and on and on and on and on. Shout out to everyone that made it to the end of this video. For British Vogue,
I'll probably make this a part two. I probably will cut it up, and these videos will be the second part. But I don't know. Again, this is a thing where I said this before, where you know a lot of men are, particularly let's say with the MGTOW movement. Fine, right? You want to women have changed. You want to believe what you want to believe. You want to be miserable. Fine. You want to be jaded. You want to view men as embarrassing. Okay, right? Being in a relationship with a man is embarrassing. Okay, then. And women aren't calling this shit out, so fine. Seems like either you don't call it out, so you must be fine with it. Then okay. Men will take a step back. They either, do passport bros, or they will go MGTOW. They will go their own way. And in my opinion, men are now taking a step back, watching the world that women have shaped, that women have created after feminism, right? In my opinion, after feminism, this is the world that women have essentially created. Let's see it burn down, right? If it burns down, men will just have to rebuild it and then say, I told you so. But if it doesn't, then okay, you know what? We'll stand corrected. Women have made the utopia that they desire. But I beg to differ, right? I don't think it's heading down that way. So let's just wait and see.
This is an article that was published this weekend that I cannot stop thinking about, and I do not want to stop talking about. The author is on TikTok. I'm going to tag her below. Please go and read this article. It is not behind a paywall. It is published in British Vogue, and it really summarizes a lot of the conversations that we've been having back and forth on my platform about the clip of the woman saying how we told her not to cook for him, not to clean up, and she got a man, she got her ring, right? And this article is really talking about how now is really cringe to post about your man, your man, your man all the time, and to present yourself as the type of
women are trying to create a environment where having a man isn't a good thing, right? Okay. But again, bookmark this, right? bookmark this, and then show it, right? When women say, why aren't men approaching? Exhibit A, right? When women say, why is there MGTOW? Why is there red pill? And I said this, right? Women created red pill. Women did. They don't know it. Unknowingly, they birth red pill. Unknowingly, they birth passport bros. Oh, why is there passport bros and all shit? Well, exhibit A. Exhibit A. Bookmark it.
Woman who is male centered and your content being about this relationship. So let's dig into some comments in this article. It is absolutely amazing. I cannot recommend it enough. One of the things that people criticize Instagram for and why so many people initially liked TikTok so much back during the pandemic and quarantine is because it was so authentic, and Instagram is so curated. People are trying so hard to sell you this lifestyle. It's so polished. And on TikTok, that's not the vibe, right? And constantly presenting your life and the things that and the money you have is such a turnoff. It's so gauche when people are struggling for you to post about all your money or whatever have you. And it's the same thing for women who are in relationships. And this woman is saying, look, I got a man, but I know how hard it is to find a man. And so me posting about my man constantly is boastful because I know women are struggling, right? If you follow me, I always say the only thing that stands in the way between you and finding the partner you want is not being fit, friendly, or feminine. It is luck. It is purely luck. We can talk about that later, but it is luck. Let's look at another comment. This is the last thing I highlighted because I really want y'all to go and read and support this article and support this journalist. Basically, this commenter is saying, look, I've been with somebody for 12 years. Men will embarrass you. So you post a man now, somebody gonna slide in your DMs and tell you that they really been talking to him. You gonna see him posting on, are we dating the same?
You've been with one man for 12 years, and then you say men. Again, the common factor is women choose one man and then use him as a template for all men.
Guy Las Vegas on Facebook, like he gonna be in the T app, like you don't want to expose yourself to being humiliated because dating men often is a humiliation ritual. So read the article, but let me know what you think. Are you in a relationship? And if you are, do you post your man? This is an article that was published this weekend that I
want to counteract that a little bit. Let's listen to this guy.
Dating is kind of like a humiliation ritual. Stay with me. So I got to get your number. After getting your number, I got to set up the date. After setting up the date, the day of the date, I got to hit you up and remind you about the date to show up. And then at the date, I need to be interesting. I need to be funny. I got to pay for the date, of course. And then also I might have to set up the Uber. I might have to come pick you up. Dating is kind of like a...
At least he's giving an example. While women just say a whole lot of shit with no basis for any fucking thing.
Vogue just posted an article saying having a boyfriend is embarrassing. I think for men, this is a wake-up call.
Genuinely, what is the wake-up call supposed to be? You've been on the internet at any point in the last 4 years, you've understood that there are a bunch of women who performatively hate men. Population of women just waiting, pleading, begging for all other women to stay single alongside them. The concept of having a boyfriend not being cool is not at all new. People told me to speak on the Vogue article. I didn't really know what to say because I'm like, none of this is actually new information. But what he's talking about in the video is essentially, oh, like, you know, a woman has a job. And she has a place that she pays for by herself. She has a car even. That now, why would she just want to date any old guy if she has things that every other adult should have? It's like, yeah, it's almost as if the mission statement of relationships is getting with someone that you like on a romantic level rather than someone that you need to help you out or provide for you. Like there's a stereotype.
And here's the thing where none of these women, right, that I've shown you actually love a man for loving a man, right? They only view men as resources, right? They only view men as how useful he is. None of these women actually love a man.
of like men like having these realizations that like women had when they were like 10. Like I feel like this is an opposite. Like I know he was a man, but like the notion of, oh my gosh, wait a minute, now women could just, they can just date who they actually want to date. Oh, maybe they don't want to date these ugly old men just because they have money. What, you mean to tell me they don't want to date unattractive men when they can actually do things for themselves? Oh, I'm amazed. Oh.
Vogue just posted an
All of these women choose the man. Choose the man they deal with. And yet, you choose said man and you use him as a template for all men you don't even fucking know. The insanity of that. That's the insanity of that. This is why I said women are bitter, right? This is why I said women are miserable. That they can't get it through their fucking head that it's not men. It's the men you choose. It's not. Is it luck? I don't necessarily think so. Because it's not like here's my thing, right? Why I don't necessarily view it as luck. When for a man, it seems like it's luck. Because a man can ask out 100 women, right? Man can ask out 100 women. It doesn't mean that those 100 women he even has a chance with dating, right? So why I said it's luck is that out of that 100 women, maybe only one woman would even say yes to going on a date with him, right? So that is luck because you see the odds. While women, let's say this, okay? Women may have 100 dates. All 100 say yes to go on a date with her, okay? So now she has the, I don't know, what did I say? The power to now choose out of this 100 what man to continue with. Now, maybe you see that, maybe you can see the luck that, okay, if the man you chose, maybe he'll be good. But again, you have an option. You have the pool of men. All these men say yes to you, okay? So all these men are actual options, right? Actual options. While that man is like, even if he asks 100 women, those 100 women are not options. The only option is that one woman that said yes. So now he has to play the odds that, okay, if that one woman, right, even is a good woman to him. So that's why I say luck. But for a woman, if you have 100 yes, you pick that one person that you want because all of them wanted you, right? But you pick the one that you want. You definitely picked that, right? Him, he may want all these 100 women at different like levels of wants. So it doesn't mean that necessarily like, oh, I like this woman a lot more than I like the other women that said no to me. No, right? But again, I guess it can kind of be luck, but it's a weird, different kind of luck, in my opinion. Because again, you chose the man, right, that you wanted. Out of the 100 that said yes to you, you chose him. So yeah, now I guess you're playing the luck if he's going to turn out to be a good man, but you probably had the option of a man that's actually good, but you just weren't attracted to him.
One thing I do not miss and never will miss about being in a romantic relationship with a man and living with a man especially is the total lack of bodily autonomy that you have. I saw a video on here and it was supposed to be like a haha funny video, a woman basically making a skit out of, she bent over to pick something up that she dropped on the floor and her husband came out of nowhere and had to, rub his crotch against her behind because she was bent over, and you read the comments and all men do this. The reality is it's not funny at all. The reality is that it speaks to men seeing women as property, playthings, and objects to grope, touch, have access to whenever it pleases them, however it pleases them, for any reason. And also, women are not allowed to feel some sort of way about it. Men think that there is this implied consent when a woman is your romantic partner, that you may touch her whenever it pleases you, and that if she complains about it, she's the bad guy. This happened a lot in my marriage. Something that my ex-husband particularly liked to do is when my hands were full or when I was focused on doing something, he would always come behind me and rub his crotch against me. If I was doing my makeup, especially if I was doing mascara, right? That takes a lot of concentration and you can't just stop in the middle of what you're doing. When I was putting away dishes, if I had dishes in both of my hands, he would come behind me, rub up against me, and also pull down my pants and rub up against me. And when I told him to stop, he would get infuriated with me and he would say things like, "You're my wife. If I'm not going to do it to you, then who do I do it to?" No one. Because you don't have a right to touch any human being in a schmegual manner without an invitation, without their consent. One thing I do not miss and never will.
Here's the thing where this is the issue, right? I've never forced myself on a woman, right? My last relationship was sexless, right? She didn't want to have sex. I didn't force nothing on her, and I suffered through it, right? I suffered through it, and until I just like, okay, this is a thing where I've said this, right? Okay, don't force anything on women. I've said this before. Don't expect or want to change others. If this is how she is, this is how she is. Leave. This is why I support, right? I don't necessarily give prescriptions, but you know, this is at least one of them where I say respect yourself, love yourself. If she doesn't want you, leave. I I wish I left I wish I left a whole lot earlier. Okay. I stated, right, providing for her, right? It's like, I think it's funny that, okay, your body doesn't belong to him, fine, but yet his money belongs to you. Okay, that's quite the double standard. But again, at the end of the day, you allow it. Fine, you shouldn't force yourself onto a woman. But what you should do is respect yourself. If she doesn't want you, leave. That is holding to your boundaries, respecting her boundaries, which you should, but also holding on to your boundaries. If the woman you married, if the woman you've been with for decades, for years, doesn't want you, doesn't find you attractive, doesn't find a sexual desire to be with you, then done. Because literally, I've had girlfriends who, man, we've had sex every day. Literally, I wake up and she's like doing something to me. So it shows you that this is the thing where this is, sadly, women that get with men they don't want, obviously don't see it like that. If you want someone, you desire them, right? You desire them. You show that you desire them. I had girlfriends who just couldn't, when we were together, couldn't take their hands off of me because they love me. They wanted me, right? Because this is the thing with women like this. They don't see that, oh, this is a man who absolutely desires. Because I was watching this, listening to this Reddit story, right? True or not, it's still a decent story where a wife literally did this, right? A wife is complaining that her husband absolutely, every time he hugs her, kisses her around her, he's aroused, right? He said to her, he can't help it that, you know what, this it's something that women seem to neglect, that they don't understand that men have hormones, testosterone. Men have bodily, functions too. So he said that he couldn't help it, that he loved her so much that he's always aroused by her. But she said that he literally, like she was saying, it's disgusting, right? You make me like a sexual object She said all these things to him. It hurt him to the point where, okay, he changed his habit. He didn't kiss her because he said that if he touches her, he kisses her, he feels aroused. So he respected her, right? He didn't like yell at her. He didn't do anything. He just hold himself back. Hold himself back. He doesn't like really touch her. He doesn't really kiss her. He doesn't do nothing because he doesn't want to put her in an uncomfortable situation. Now you can't pick and choose what you want. Oh no. Why can't you just hug me? No, you can't just fucking do that. You can't say, oh, how about do this like this? No, that's not how it fucking works. So for months on end, he just didn't do it, right? And she complained. She felt unwanted. She felt undesired, right? For him, to the point where, you know what? Now he's like, I want a divorce. Because honestly, I can't be with a woman that finds my desire for her, finds my sexual desire for her as a disgusting thing. So he divorced her. He found a woman that actually wants him, that's actually not disgusted by his desire for a woman he wants. I say this: don't deal with women that don't want you. Don't deal with women that sees your desire for them as harassment, as objectification, right? Don't deal with women like that.
So I just found out something the other day, and I have to ask, women in long-term relationships or even married, are y'all okay? Because I just found out about like the lack of bodily autonomy you guys experience living with these men. And again, are you okay? Like, this woman was telling a story about how every time she would be in the kitchen just minding her business, like whether she's washing dishes, cleaning up, preparing dinner, her husband would come up behind her and just grope her, like just rub his Peter Whacker on her behind, and it just be so unwanted. He don't even try to butter her up first, nothing, just straight assault, to the point where he'd even go as far as putting his hands down her pants, just like because he thinks he can. And I'm just like, I never thought about the men who think that they have unlimited access to women because, one, they live with them, and then two, well, we're married. If I can't do it, who can't? And it's, well, what if I don't want you to? This is such uncharted territory for me because I've never actually lived with a man, or honestly, I've never had to worry about that kind of thing long term. So are you guys like literally okay? I'm so sorry that this is happening to so many women. Like, because when I tell you that comment section was 9,000 comments deep of all these women saying, yeah, I agree. They just keep touching us and don't even ask. You're being assaulted in your own home, in the kitchen at that. Why would a man be there? You're not even safe in the kitchen. So I just found
I'm not like promoting assault, right? But when you see your husband, the man you have kids with, the man you choose to spend the rest of your life with, and his desire for you, right? His sexual desire for you, and you view it as assault. Honestly, don't be with men, right? I find it really, again, right? I don't promote men forcing themselves on women, but you would think that a woman you want to spend the rest of your life with would not see your desire for her, okay, as assault, your desire for her as, unwanted, because you would hope that she would want you. And here's the thing where women, again, this is the thing where I show you that feminist man who said that we are more alike than you think. We're not, right? I mean, we are alike, but we're not as alike as you think. That men have a strong sexual desire. I find it funny that women think that, monogamy is the best thing for men. Not really. Not. I mean, it's a good and bad thing. Okay. And why I also say that, men are only as faithful as their option, because honestly, at the end of the day, you're with one woman that only wants to have sex with you whenever she wants. Well, no duh, men will be only as faithful as his options, right? He has to deal with it. If he had options to, this is why top tier men, why settle down? Why settle down with one woman when honestly that one woman may see your advances as unwanted? So instead of showing unwanted advances towards this one woman that really doesn't care about you, doesn't want advances, you would deal with other women. You wonder why top tier men do not settle down, right? Because literally women find unwanted, right? Find any advance from their man as unwanted. So, okay, fine. I'm not going to give you unwanted attention. I'm going to find a woman that wants my attention. It's like, again, you think that you think that marriage is so beneficial to men. Really? Being locked down to just one woman is not the most desirable thing. Men hope that it is, right? Men hope that you desire them, but men are slowly finding out that women don't. Women are settling for the men they don't want.
So I'm going to ask you a question. So when you say unlimited access, what you're saying is that if you're having the shittiest day possible, let's say, God forbid, one of your parents die. One of your parents died. You're in bed, depressed, crying, in fucking shambles. And that man comes up to you and just sticks it in you. That's okay? Like, he doesn't even got to, like, butter you up. He ain't got to ask you, hey, are you in the mood? Like, he ain't got to talk to you, nothing. Because that's what the fuck we're talking about. I think you guys are, like, trying to, like, nuance your way into feeling okay about what.
Yeah, you picked the worst situation to make it seem like it's happening every day. Is your parents dying every day? Is something shitty like that happening every day? And, like, God forbid, okay, if a man, like, loses a job and can't find a job for months to maybe a year, because plenty of people can't find a job that quickly, right? Can't provide. And so is that okay? You won't hold him to anything? You'll be fine with it? You'll be fine with you taking up the full financial load? People, it's like, this is the problem, right? We see with so many of these videos I'm showing you. Women constantly neglect any accountability from women, any side from the women. You constantly just focus on men.
Whatever the fuck y'all got going on. I'm not trying to project or anything. This is just what I feel. But I feel like some of you guys are in here talking about unlimited access, and you don't understand the amount of unlimited access that some of these women actually are going through. Like, your unlimited access is because you guys have built up a level of rapport, communication. You know, you guys have that level of understanding where you say you should be able to tell I'm in the mood and just go for it. Some of these men don't give a fuck. You can literally.
Why did you pick those men? Who the fuck is forcing you? Who the hell is telling you to choose who you chose?
Be on your deathbed and they would still try to have sex with you. So are you one of those women? Like, I'm just asking because you said unlimited. Like, how far does your unlimited go? Thank you. So I'm going to ask you a question.
You know, again, why do I show these videos? Because honestly, it's a good thing to show you the women that honestly just need to stop dating. Please. More women need to opt out of dating.
I've recently noticed a rise in a certain type of content, and I just want to make sure that we are all on the same page about it. And what I'm specifically referring to, era type content. I'm actually mutuals with at least one or two of these creators, and I just want to put it out there that if I'm like way off base on this, or if I'm like misreading or misunderstanding, please chime in the comments, let me know. I'll be sure to tag y'all. I do think it's really important for young women to be exposed to this type of content, but let's be very clear about one thing. Dealing with men in a villainous way is still centering men. Taking that type of advice literally and not rhetorically will still result in you centering men. The problem with like spending your time being a villain to a man or whatever is that loser men have nothing to lose. That's why we call them losers, okay? People that require you to do like the eye for an eye thing, like giving them a taste of their own medicine, as much as I love all that, as much as I love the idea of like women being as diabolical as men, I support women's rights and women's wrongs and all of that. And again, please correct me if I'm wrong if you're one of these creators, but I do believe that that content is meant to be taken rhetorically. I don't think that these women are out here actually asking or expecting you to like seek out these types of situations, let alone put yourself in these types of situations often. God forbid, like seeking out these types of situations. The most concerning part of anyone taking that type of content quite literally and like running with it and almost like trying to seek out those situations to get their lick back on a man, seeking out situations where you get to show a man what's what and like you get to teach him a lesson, that men are not socialized the same way as women. And oftentimes they really have nothing to lose, especially if they're acting like a villain to you in the first place. They're lying to you, like nagging you, asking to sleep with you before you're ready, all of that. There is absolutely, just remember that women are unalived by men every day for much less, for no reason at all. In fact, some women are unalived because they're doing better than the men in question, and the men in question are jealous and resentful. Women are unalived for being too good, too giving, too kind, because a lot of men's insecurity really knows no bounds. Like when you're dealing with men that are like pushing you towards a villainous arc, remember that like most of the time men will out-villain you. Because again, when we're talking about the men that we're talking about, men that are willing to like nag you, looking for sexual favors after a dinner date, not looking for commitment, spinning plates or whatever, you will not out villain them. While a lot of this content is like very helpful to like reframe our thinking as women when it comes to encouraging the types of realizations that women really need to be having, I just really need you to understand that trying this in real life is not a gamble that I would personally take. If you really do sense like villain vibes from a man, or incel vibes, or nagging, or male superiority vibes, let me just tell you that man is a bigger villain than you. That's a competition that you're gonna lose every single time. Again, nobody loves and enjoys this type of content more than me, the like whole flipping the tables, the hypothetical situation type content. I don't think it's quite meant to be taken literally. And if you do take it literally, just please make sure that you are actually one of God's strongest soldiers and that you are ready to physically protect yourself if need be. Please make sure that these men do not know where you live. Please make sure there's
These women are just fucking ridiculous. So you love the content of women getting their lick back, but you here's another woman that pretty much built her platform on honestly just a whole lot of man hate content. Honestly, just a whole lot of belittling of men, whole lot of anger towards men. It is what it is, I guess, but it's like, man, these women are tiring. Literally tiring.
Men need to consider how they would feel if a woman that they weren't attracted to was pursuing them and hitting on them. I actually don't think this is a great thought experiment for men, because a woman hitting on a man and a man hitting on a woman have a very different power dynamic. Men tend to be bigger and stronger and have an advantage if there's a physical altercation. So that discomfort is beyond just like the social thing of, oh, I'm not attracted to you and you're flirting with me. It's always got potential for physical threat as well. There's always the fear that this person isn't going to listen or isn't going to respect me. It's not just, oh, I'm not attracted to this person, this is really awkward. It's also, whoa, what might happen to me here? A much better example, a much better thought experiment for men to do is to consider what it would be like if a man they weren't attracted to was hitting on them. And not just any man, a man who is bigger and stronger than them. A man who's got 6 to 8 inches on them. A man who can bench 4 times what you can. A man who is obviously physically advantaged over you in a fight. You've got a good hunch that this man wants to do sexual things with you. I want the men to think about, like, what could that man say to you to make you comfortable while he flirted with you? What kinds of things would make you comfortable and extremely uncomfortable in those moments? If you actually really place yourself into this thought experiment, you'll start to see why even just a guy approaching you, getting into your space and saying hi and nothing else would make you feel uncomfortable. You didn't do anything rude or evil, but you feel creeped out. Understandably so. If you want to prioritize women's comfort and approach them in a way that doesn't make them feel uncomfortable and creeped out, then you need to always think about what that guy could be doing to you in that situation. Hi, is it okay if I talk to you for a minute? Is it okay if I sit here? Absolutely no pressure to say yes.
I would think that if he was ugly, right? If he's ugly, he's a creep. Right? Isn't that how it is? Here's the thing. I think most men will just think that why is a guy talking to me? I don't give a shit how tall he is. Right? If he's saying anything, I would just, you know, this is a thing where men are not scared of it. Or if you are trying to, you know, I mean, this is a thing where I would say that men are not. It's a I'm trying to see if I can word it right because I think that one, men understand the dynamics of violence. If it happens, well, men will take it up. Men are not afraid to defend themselves. Two, men will probably just think like women. If this man is if he is a conventionally super attractive man, great. But if he's not gay, he doesn't give a shit. Just move on, right? That is it. So it's hard of a comparison, hard because again, in most men, in my opinion, if he's truly heterosexual, it doesn't really matter how this man approaches you. Whether he approaches you creepily or he approaches you whatever respectfully, you like, okay, I'm good. I'm not gay. So it's like that wiring is like that's not really a good, I don't know, scenario for men because you will find it creepy regardless. You will find it unwanted regardless of whatever the situation is. Because men are not attracted to other men. At least heterosexual men are not attracted to other straight men. It's not it.
But I find you really good looking. Can I give you my number? You can start to see why even just overstaying your welcome or flirting with somebody when you're showing disinterest is a big problem. It would make you understandably extremely uncomfortable. To truly flirt in a respectful way that considers her comfort, you have to assume that she might say no. Consider that she might not be attracted to you. And always keep in mind that there's a power dynamic that makes this more precarious, potentially scary, and uncomfortable for her. If you really understand those things when you approach someone and attempt to flirt with them, then you'll probably never creep out a girl accidentally again. Men need to consider how they would feel if a woman that they weren't attracted to was pursuing them and hitting on them.
Here's the thing and this is why I support the growing number of men not approaching women. Put the ball in women's court. Don't listen to any crap women say. Just put the ball in women's court. They should be the ones approaching men. I mean, I've had girlfriends and I never approached them, right? I never really approached them. So, right? I think more men should just do it like that. At least for Western women, right?
So men don't suddenly become safer because you approached them. On the contrary, they become significantly more dangerous. When a man who does not care about your comfort, your consent, he does not respect you. When he approaches you, you have one, maybe two bargaining chips to get him to stop. I have a boyfriend, okay? I have lied about having a boyfriend so many times because maybe he won't respect me, but he might respect my mythical boyfriend. He doesn't care what I consent to, but he can accept that I'm already with someone else. I'm already taken. My boyfriend might get mad at him. My no should be enough. Me not being attracted to him should be enough. Me not wanting to talk to somebody right now should be enough. But if he doesn't respect that, he might respect that I'm taken. I have a boyfriend. The other tool I have to get a man to leave me alone is to sting him. Be such a bitch that he doesn't want to talk to me anymore. Be so mean and awful and make him feel some shame and discomfort so that he finally just leaves the interaction. I'm really bad at this because I tend to be a very friendly, bubbly person and I have a hard time just like shooting someone down really hard. And that sucks. Like that has gotten me into very bad, dangerous, scary, awful situations. I am so jealous of women who have mastered the skill of like the quick draw, shoot a guy down to get him to leave you alone skill. Because they keep themselves and others safer than I can. Those women have come to my aid so many times.
And this is when a girl acts like, oh my God, why are you approaching me, you hideous man? It's so mean. Like, it's a mean thing to do, but it's a defense mechanism. I hate it. I don't like it. I'm not good at it. And I don't think almost any women like it and enjoy it. But telling a guy like, no, I'm not interested, does not always get him to leave you alone if he doesn't respect you. Shooting him down, making him feel kind of embarrassed and like he wants to get away from you, is a tool you can use that will work even if he doesn't respect you. If I approach you, I no longer have either of those tools. First, there's the issue that most women just don't feel that much of an attraction and a pull towards men that they don't already know and have a chance to interact with. Like men.
Then why would you approach him? What the fuck is wrong with you? You go on a 2-minute diatribe that really not talk about the topic at hand.
Men are just not attractive enough for us to like want to go approach them across the room most of the time. We're much more sexually stimulated by socially interactive qualities, so we need to comfortably interact with you for a bit to start to feel attraction to you. We almost never are going to feel sexually attracted enough to go and initiate a conversation from far away because all we have is visual information. And women are just not as efficiently attracted by visuals as men are. So that's one reason why we don't approach. But also,
then don't approach. But the ball should still be on women's court. Literally, you didn't say why women why it shouldn't be in women's court. They should approach. If women find the man that they want, approach him. If you don't find a man you want, don't approach. That's plain and simple. Okay? If you don't find him attractive, then don't approach. That's it. I mean, so that's really stupid. This is why, literally, not really a counter argument against women should be the ones to approach.
so if I approach you, I am showing you right off the bat that I'm single and interested in dating, and that I am attracted to you. I find you cute, good looking. If you're a man who doesn't respect my comfort and consent, I have no tools to push you away now. If I go, wait, I don't want to talk to him anymore, I don't feel comfortable anymore, like,
You don't want to talk to him anymore? You don't? Okay. So the tactics that you used before of him like saying no worked when he approached you. But you saying no when you approach him, that doesn't work anymore? Even the tactic of you insulting a man, right, worked when he approached you. You insulting him when you approach him, that doesn't work anymore? Why is it that when women try to be logical, they just sound stupid?
it's scary. I know this because I am a girl who is initiated and approached. And it can get so scary so quick. I stopped doing it unless I had men that were around me. Or friends that were so mean and harsh that they could come in and like use their power to tear that guy down and get him to leave us alone. So many men, as demonstrated by my comment sections, wrongly think that whether or not a guy is creepy is about if she's attracted to him or not. So if you let a guy know right off the bat that you feel attracted to him, he now thinks he can't be creepy anymore. The one card I have is men not knowing if I'm attracted to them or not. It makes them way more cautious, way more gentle, way more concerned about if they're creepy or not.
And here, you don't approach. Okay, here's the thing. You don't approach, and you say men should not approach. So you don't have to deal with men at all. Right? Every video that I pretty much show backs up my argument. Of tonight's argument, women need to stay single. I honestly wish, okay? Because it seems like women want their cake and eat it too. They want to be able to bash men, say a whole lot of shit about men, and then get the weak men to accept them, to date them, to be with them whenever they want. I wish more women would just live their truth. Every single woman that I've shown, pretty much every single woman, I need them to stay single for the rest of their life. Really do, right? I would be so happy.
They know that I find them cute, like, I showed my cards. Now, if you don't respect me, the human being, when I say no or when I get uncomfortable, then my only safety mechanism is someone else coming in and rescuing me. So yeah, our concerns about men and their creepiness and their safety doesn't just magically go away because I approach them. It actually gets worse. So men don't.
So you're scared of men approaching you, and you're scared of approaching men. Again, seems like it's still the same thing I've said. Just no to both. I thought I showed this one because like this is how my platonic male friends take care of me, and you think I accept the bare minimum on a date. This is why I say I don't support all men. Right? I don't support all men. I only support good men. These are not good men. Right? These are honestly the most fake of fake men. Okay?
Posted this video is getting kind of lit up in the comments, and everybody is basically in there telling her that these are not her platonic male friends, they're making challengers jokes, etc. And as much as I hate to agree with them, I will agree with them, but I also want us to like kind of start challenging our thinking on that level as a society. Because to me, in a feminist society, this is what friendships between men and women would look like also. It sucks so.
In a feminist society, you would clean men's feet and cook for men just for friends? I mean, I had friends cook for me. So I had female friends cook for me. So I was like, okay. But who's washing my feet? Right? Okay. But this is a thing where there is a certain level, right? I don't it's like just kind of an extreme.
Bad that we act like any kind of labor on a man's part should only and ever be reserved for a woman that he wants to sleep with or is like romantically interested in. I think that overall really tanks us as a society, and it forces all of that labor onto women.
It's not that it's not that men are saying or are doing that they only, you know, do labor for their, girlfriends. It's particular labor, right? Protection and providing. I've seen plenty of male friends help women with other shit, right? I don't know, moving shit, like other types of labor, right? And if he loves cooking, he'll cook for his friends. You make it seem like men don't do this, but again, it's the particular men you choose. It's like at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, it's like I find this the problem, right? It's lack of accountability. It's the no sense that it's the fucking people you choose to surround yourself with, right? It's the men you choose to date. It's the men you choose to surround yourself with.
Like, I understand that these guys maybe in this video are probably not doing this for like these like innocent and pure reasons. But my point is, we would have never thought about this video twice if a woman showed this exact same sequence but said, this is how my female friends treat me. We wouldn't have thought twice about that. Why is that? Because we expect so much.
Would they not? Do you females wash your feet? It's a little extreme, right? Let's go back to it. Do female friends do that? Driving, okay, that's nothing. Cooking, that's nothing, right? Who's talking about that? Fine, they cook. I mean, you showed three things: driving, cooking, and washing your feet. Driving, so you saying men don't drive for you? I mean, come on. You say what? I mean, like literally, here are men cooking for you. So it's like, The washing the feet thing is weird. Are your female friends washing your feet?
What it really means to be like heterosexual and like what it really means, like what are relationships between men and women if they're not transactional. Do you know what I mean? Because like so many women will be like, yeah, like I basically go on a date with my best friend every week. Like we go to a cute little place, we sit down, we talk about how was our week, we talk about our long-term goals and plans, like we talk about, and women don't expect smacks from each other after that. Even today, for example, I'm working from one of my best friend's house. Literally, as we're both like settling in this morning, she comes up and just silently hands me this beautiful little bowl of fruit. The week before that, she had been to like a different state on a flight and picked up one of those giant Toblerone bars for me from the.
Here's the thing. Are you creating this friendship with men? Are you doing these things with men? Right? Are you treating your male friends like this?
Airport because she knows I love Toblerone. The other week, one of my other best friends like gave me a really thoughtful birthday gift, handed down like a top that she thrifted that didn't work out for her, let me borrow a book that I mentioned I wanted to read.
Like I had a while. I mean, when I was in high school, I had these two girlfriends, right? They heard that it was my birthday coming up, and I said this story already before, right? But maybe you haven't heard it. That my birthday was coming up, and I usually don't celebrate my birthday, and surprisingly, they felt bad, and when I was in class, they brought a cake to me, right? And I was like, was it in class or maybe it was lunchtime? One of those, right? It's a while ago. Right? I'm old. They brought a cake to me, and I, I was like, I'd never had a friend who did that, right? And I was like, wow, I was extremely touched, and it was like it was like one of the moments that were very touching to me. So what I did is that I think next day or the next week, I bought bouquets of roses for each of them, right? I brought to their class and gave it to them. It's like, again, you have to build that type of relationship, right? It just doesn't just appear out of nowhere.
One of my best friends literally refused to let me pay her back for a literal beyond.
Again, the best friend, right? It's like, do you not be able to like actually critical think, interpret the shit you say? These are your best friends. Friendship built over years, most likely, right? Friendship built over trials and tribulations. Friendship built over actions.
Fiance ticket, like, the kind of stuff that my friends and I do for each other. And some of these friends are men. Like, I actually refuse to have friendships with men unless they are like thoughtful, considerate, effort goes both ways. Why can't we have that with men? Like, why do men get to gatekeep that for like one special woman in their life? Like, the world would actually be a much.
Do men gatekeep it? Because you literally said you have male friends. Why the fuck do you expect to have all men as your friend?
Much better place if men put as much like work into community building and like society building as women did. Like, why do men just get to sit that one out? That's really annoying, actually. Women are just once again picking up all the slack in society. I actually really hate that. I really hate that men are allowed to just be such freeloaders, because then it's like you realize like men would have.
To say that men are freeloaders, yet in the same breath, not her particularly breath, but women say that men are in a loneliness epidemic. What are men freeloading? Right? What community are men in? It's the hypocrisy. In one breath, you say men are suffering from loneliness. So obviously, if they're suffering from loneliness, they're not in any community. They're not taking advantage of any kind of emotional labor that fucking women have. It's like, fucking stop picking and choosing. And then you literally said you have male friends that are giving you that effort. What other men do you want to be your friend? Why should men need to be with friends with every fucking woman?
have to put so much more effort into romantic relationships. You know what I mean? Like, we overhype relationships where the man is just simply being like a good friend to his wife. We're like, oh my God, may a love like this slap me in the face. It's like, that's just a friendship with a woman. You probably already have all that. For a man to like be able to withhold that all the way until he gets into like
To this is a thing where I've had videos of women saying, you know, you saying that, oh, that's just a friendship, right? I've had women saying this is a thing where you don't realize that. Now, if you have great friends, awesome, right? If you have great friends, great for you. Um awesome for you. But I believe, personal opinion, most people, okay, at the end of the day, your friends have their own lives, right? Your friends are not going to make you their life. They're not. They're not gonna. I mean, when you go home alone, is your friend there with you? No. So it's not necessarily the same shit. Not to say that. Oh, your husband is just a friend of yours. No. Usually, they would provide and protect for you. They would die for you. They will be there for you at every moment. But this is the problem I find where when women have such disdain for men, you can't see anything past it. This is the thing where this is why I've said this. Where honestly, I don't support all men because any men can be friends with women like this. And I'm not saying her in particular, but like I said, she has a pretty much a platform of shitting on men, right? And then to say that, oh, you know, we're showing it, right? Her like, oh, I love it when I see women are, you know, villains to men. And then men is like, okay, this is someone I want to be friends with. Show you that I don't respect these types of men, right? I don't respect these type of men. And just like where I did the video of you know, women saying that I would not leave my friends that cheated on that cheated on their, you know, their partners, right? I would not leave my friends that cheated on their partners. Shows you what type of person you are, right? Shows you what the type of person you are. So shows you what type of men she cultivates, what type of male friends she has. When literally, here are women that literally shit on men. Like words, right? It's not just like you're not holding men accountable, right? You're literally just saying a whole lot of crap about men. And these men find that to be friends with these women is it shows you a lot about what type of men these are.
a romantic relationship or a marriage or something, and then he will be like overhyped for it. This is why men's wives end up buying gifts for their moms, their sisters, and nieces, nephews, all of those people, because men are not expected to buy anybody gifts, you know? Only women.
But whose money you're using? I just Men are not expected to buy anyone gifts. Yet you complain when men like and then and then you and then you see women like this, you know, complain about, let's say, men not gifting women things. Like it's like in the sense that if you're dating a woman, you don't pay for nothing, you don't buy nothing, you don't spend. It's like, so are you getting with men that don't spend a dime on you? I just, I just, I don't know. I just find these women such a headache.
Are
That's like a huge gap that we're just creating in society.
Very interesting that to us, a heterosexual relationship is a place where a man gets rewarded with smecks for like pretending to be a good friend to a woman or for being a good friend to a woman. You know what I mean? Like that's why guys call it the friend zone. You know, it's because we as a society confirm that all the time. We're like, yeah, well, if he treats you like that, then he's a good romantic partner, like, etc. I don't think we know what romance means as a society. I'm starting to question whether, like, if we were to actually normalize men behaving like this towards women without expecting smecks in return, what would relationships even look like at that point? And who benefits from the bar being kept so fucking low, right? It's men.
The bar is low. So the bar starts at a man cooking for you, a man cleaning you. No, this is the fucking insanity, right? I, I've always said, right? The bar should be just to be a productive person. The bar is just to be a respectful person. The bar isn't that you overindulge others. The bar isn't that you overextend yourself for others. The bar isn't that you do shit for people, right? That's not the bar. Who are you? Are you not a fucking adult? To expect your friend to cook and clean for you, to expect your friend to wash your feet, to expect your friend to drive you around like they're your chauffeur. If they do it for you, great. But that's not where the bar starts. Because honestly, then that's an expectation, right? That's an expectation. If you expect your friend to do shit for you, for them to be your friend, you're never a good friend to begin with, right? Friendship shouldn't be about what my friend can do for me. That's not friendship. And this is why women like this, I find it insane that they have friends. To say that the expectation of if my friend doesn't do nothing for me, they're not that great of a friend.
And because they don't want to do more than the bare minimum in relationships. Like they don't even want to do the bare minimum, you know? If they could do less.
You know, this is a thing where if she was ugly, I wonder if she would still have her friends. I wonder, right? This is the problem I find. This is why I have little respect for a lot of men. Okay? Because if women are attractive enough, men will ignore everything else. Right? Men will ignore all the other red flags. Because if she's attractive enough, he doesn't give a shit about anything else. If she was fat and ugly, would men deal with her red flags? Would men deal with her disrespect? Would men deal with her point of views? I don't think so.
They would. And because we continuously normalize this like sociopathic, frankly, type of behavior and basically put the onus back on women, as in like, oh yeah, you know, they're not just doing that for free, right? Oh yeah, they're definitely just like competing with each other over who gets to screw you first. This is why the bare minimum is still the standard. Right? Because we believe anything above that should be rewarded with smacks. I feel like there's something here, like I want other people's like thoughts and opinions on this, because really, what would the world look like if we normalized friendship, genuine friendship like this between men and women? If we stopped sort of assigning like as
That should not be general friendship, right? What your friend can do for you shouldn't be the basis of your friendship, right? That shouldn't be the basis of your friendship. What they can do for you. You are just a user, right? Friendship, in my opinion, is an emotional basis, right? Hobbies, enjoyment of hobbies, a emotional connection, okay? Um, someone to lean on. Not someone if he can cook for me, if she can clean for me, if he can fucking wash my feet, if she can drive for me, if she's getting me food, if she's, buying me chocolates. Why is it that it's so transactional? What can you do for me?
As a society, this whole other aspect to it, just because like one aspect of a friendship exists, just automatically assign this sexual aspect to it. And it was also concerning because there were so many people in the comments being like, oh, my guy friends just like kick me and punch me and slap me. And it's like, as if that's not inherently sexual, as if that's not also like a type of sexual currency that we deal with as a society. Like, I'm sorry,
How is that? When you
men call smex hitting, smashing, cracking. Do you think that your guy friends are any less sexually interested in you if they're performing violence on you? Like, I don't know, on one hand, it's like at least this girl's friends are cooking her meals and coming out and supporting her at her events. Like, your guy friends are literally just like hitting and tripping you. It's to the point where actually if a man spends any time around you at all, it means he wants to have sex with you. That's the point where we're at as a society, because that's how little we value women. That's how little we value the kind of friendships that women have, that men are like, no, why would I do all that for somebody I'm not even effing? And then women are like, yeah, why would he do all that for somebody he's not even effing? He definitely wants to eff you. And it's like this self-fulfilling prophecy. It's like this closed loop.
Now, I've said this before where I don't really believe that you should be friends with people you find attractive. Okay. My own thing, right? Because if you like the person's personality, then you like the person's looks. Why wouldn't you like to be with that person? But I don't necessarily think this is a thing where, if the person is easy to talk to, if the person does come to your events, that's a good basis for a friend. But again, if my friends don't cook for me, that doesn't make them any less of a friend. And I definitely don't expect it. Okay? I don't expect them to cook for me. I just feel like sometimes like that is not the bar, right? That's not where the bar starts. I would never expect any friend to do anything for me, right? I mean, at the very least, it's just be an ear for me to talk to. That's it. Or to do certain activities, right? Hobbies with, right? If you like, I don't know, poker, right? Fishing, um, playing video games. Because here's my thing where it, I have a problem when a lot of women think that friendship should be mutual, right? Should be mutual. So if he likes cooking and he cooks for you, okay, fine, that's him. That shouldn't be the basis of what you think is a friendship, right? If I'm playing a video game and my friend is playing a video game, we're playing it together. It's not because he's doing it for me, right? He finds the enjoyment playing the game. I'm playing that game. We're playing it together. That's it. That is the basis of the friendship. Women, in my honest opinion, can't have that basis of a friendship, at least not with men. They have to get something out of it. Literally, the things she said, buy me chocolate, give me fruits, cook for me, do this for me, do that for me. Honestly, the basis of women's friendship is what you can do for me.
The reason that I have no patience and I spare no anger in the discussion of men caring about women's issues and thus men asking women to care about their mental health and their issues and blah, 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 is because to this day, in every video I've made about it, I just cannot get these men to admit that there's a problem that men are perpetuating. They just won't do it. They will not do it. And I'm even in this video, I'm sure they won't. Like, they will always do what about, or they will say, oh, sure, but also. And they can never just let us sit with the fact that there is a severe rape problem, sexual assault problem, harassment problem, bullying problem, body shaming problem that men perpetuate on women.
I want to say this, right? Studies have shown that it's not necessarily concrete that cases against women have increased. So it's very complicated, but it has shown that women are reporting cases more than compared to the past. But here's the thing, my basis for it is that whether it's increased or not, you have to do the main caveat that the most violence of any case of these that she mentioned, it doesn't happen between strangers. It happens in intimate relationships, i.e., you know the man, i.e., you likely chose the man. So to say that men need to acknowledge this is okay, sure. There are violence towards women. But can women acknowledge, right? It's not like I'm trying to do what she just said, but like, can you actually make it more distinct, more specific, where women acknowledge that it's the men they choose, right? Statistically, it has shown that women receive more violence in relationships from the men they know than from strangers.
Like I don't think I don't know if they understand or just don't care. I don't believe they care though. And that's why I get so mad. And I'm okay with being mad, and I'm okay with everyone getting mad at me about being mad. Imagine if we had battered men's shelters everywhere. Imagine that. Like
We don't open them, right? We don't care. I've loved to use this statistic. 70% of one-way domestic violence is committed by women against men. 70%. With such high domestic rates against men, you wonder why we don't have shelters for men, because they don't care.
we have battered women's shelters everywhere. That's a thing everywhere. Do we like female
Because we care more. We care more about women than we care about men.
genital mutilation where they literally cut off the clitoris so that women cannot have sexual pleasure in any situation because they're not allowed to do that?
What is it? Oh, God, I guess I'm drawing a blank. Circumcision? Do boys, little baby boys, have a say in that?
That's not what sex is for them. That's a thing. And by the way, that does happen in the US. Who is most sex trafficked?
Do you know it is against the law to do, female genital mutilation? It's against the law. It's illegal. Okay. But to say that it does happen in the US is very disingenuous when there are murders that happens in the US. People still kill. I find her argument very disingenuous. Okay, yes, it happens in the US. Do you know that we have laws against murder and it still happens? Yes.
Who are primarily the most what gender, let me say, is most often the one that is doing the sex trafficking?
Well, I hate how disingenuous she said. So, what gender does this vile act? Okay, men. I get it. But you gotta. This is why I always want to. Why I say stuff like this is disingenuous. So you gotta think of it this way, right? So let's say 10 cases, right? Let's say 10 men. Only one man does a vile act, right? Only one man. A population of 10 men, only one man does something terrible. A population of 10 women, 0 woman does something terrible. Right? 0 woman compared to 1 man. So when you say that, oh, you know what? Men do this vile act. Technically true, right? This one man, the only man that does the vile act, when you say men do this vile act, technically, right, it is true. But it's disingenuous. Why? Because again, that one man, why does that one man equal 10 men, right? Why does that one man represent all other men? I always like to say this, okay? Men are the ones to do violent crimes, right? The majority of violent crimes are committed by men. I agree. It's not the same thing as majority of men commit violent crime. This is why women like this are disingenuous. To say that, yes, men are the ones to sex traffic, it's not the same. Or the majority of sex trafficking are done by men, not the same as the majority of men do sex trafficking. Not the same fucking thing. And I literally gave you an example how disingenuous it is. Okay? Because the numbers don't show it. Most men don't do it. Most men don't harm women. Most men don't do violence. All right? You could think about again, correct me if I'm wrong, do your own research. I think let's say SV, right? SA against women. I think it was like, let's say I don't know. Let's say the number of cases are probably like under around 300,000. Sounds like a lot, right? Or I don't know, maybe 300,000 cases or 300,000 men were arrested for it. Sounds like a lot. But when you compare it to 160 million men, it's like fucking nothing. I'm just giving you hypothetical numbers, or not necessarily hypothetical numbers, because I don't remember exactly, but do your research. It still shows you that it's not the majority of men doing these things.
Answer fast. I'm waiting. So, like, my problem with this is that, like, regardless of the issues that men want me to address, which I don't have to address every single issue in the world. I don't have to address any issue I don't want to address, actually. But regardless, why would I do that if you still refuse to admit that you guys are the ones perpetuating these issues on us? I'm waiting. I am waiting. And I've seen people be like, oh, so you only want to help if we help you? I want you to stop fucking hurting women.
Her rhetoric is assuming you are hurting women. That's her rhetoric, right? You as a man, you are hurting women. That's her rhetoric. That's her assumption, right? She assumes you, right, who are saying this shit, is the one who's hurting women. And saying that you need to stop. This whole video, right? It's like all these videos, like I know it's tiring, right? It's like almost, I don't know, 2 hours or whatever, however, I don't know how long. I'm going to cut this up, so I don't know. To assume that all men are this when you constantly pick the few and make it to represent the majority. Please just stop dealing with men. Right? Stop talking about men. Stop focusing on men. Just focus on yourself then. Just focus on women.
What? What? I have 8 sisters. Every single sister I have has a story, including me. We all have a story. We all have a story.
Okay, so fucking what? If I have like 1,000 brothers and we all have a story, should I now just view all women the same way? Should I blame all women? The fuck, you have a story, so? Every one of your story means what? Unless you have 8 women, right? 8 sisters, including you, and you dealt with, let's say, 1 million man each. At least. Your pool of candidates, the pool of men you use for your study means fucking what? Nothing. Because again, it's a drop in the bucket. Doesn't represent all men.
And it's funny because recently I saw a post about a teacher getting fired because she was molesting her teenage student. And every single male comment I saw, every single one I saw was, oh, he's not actually a victim. This was his dream. This is all he wanted. So you guys don't even care either. You guys don't even care. You don't even care about your own.
Now, I've said this before, right? But you got to think about, it's not really a gotcha. It shows you how unprivileged men are, right? It shows you how bottom of the totem pole men are. Men don't even care about other men. Women don't even care about men, right? So if nobody cares about men, do you think men are privileged? Do you think men are, doing well? No. Society does not care about men. Nobody cares about men. But here's the thing. Here's the difference where society actually cares about women. No matter how much you complain that men mistreat women, there are men to come to your rescue. Nobody is coming to a man's rescue. Right? So it's like we could play the victim Olympics, right? So saying how terrible things are for women, saying how terrible things are for men, right? Play the victim Olympics. But here's the thing. Like I said, at the very least, there'll be men coming to your rescue, right? No one is coming to a man's rescue. Nobody. It's either he rescues himself or he fucking dies.
Issues that you want me to care about. Because it's never been about the fact that you want these issues fixed. You just want women to care about it more. Like you want women to be the caretaker.
And this is like women think that all men are just the same, right? So you equate that the men in that comment section, right, in that female teacher comment section, are the same men in your comment section that tells you to care about men, which I don't even give a shit about that. I would never tell a woman to care about men because honestly, that is against their nature. Women don't give a shit about men. At least their modern day nature. So that is the insanity where women constantly perpetuate this. All men are the same. All men are the same. The same men that say, oh, let's care about that you should care about men as well. You should care about men are the same men that are in that comment section of that female teacher saying, oh, men are not the victim.
You want them back in that traditional role. And I will be damned. I will be fucking damned. I will. I will not be doing that shit. None of my fellow girls are doing that shit. We don't want to. Except for the weird ultra religious ones that keep posting about how we're all sluts and heathens and whatever, and that's fine, But it just gets to the point where I almost have to laugh, because like regardless of where the argument goes, they will still just not say that there's a major issue that men have with violence.
Studies have shown, okay, that men are, let me see something. This is the thing, you can Google it. Yes, violence has decreased over time globally. But recent trends show fluctuation. While long-term historical data indicates that a dramatic decline in violence, some recent statistics shown increase in certain crimes like robbery and cybercrime, even as other crimes, other violent crimes such as homicide and assaults have decreased in the United States. Studies have also shown that men have decreased in testosterone, right? Which in turn have made men less violent, less aggressive, less domineering, less assertive. So I can base my shit off of at least, there's links to it, right? There's footnotes to it. Okay, there's links to it. I can at least show you, right? Or say, quote, actual data, at least AI smart data. Where the fuck are you saying your shit?
I mean, that's it. What percentage of school shooters are men? What percentage of shootings in general are men? What percentage of family annihilators are men? What percentage of domestic violence is against women?
I've told you that the 70% of DV against men. Majority of one-way domestic violence are committed by women against men. And let's not talk about the high DV rates within lesbian relationships.
It's pretty silent right now.
Yeah, because you're fucking talking to yourself.
So yeah, I mean, like it's absurd that you want me to address your sadness when I have to sit here every day and hear another story from a woman saying, "Oh, I was violently raped, and now my rapist is avoiding jail time," or just all of these issues. Because you guys won't even call that out as shitty. You guys won't even say that's bad. Because I know it's not every single man doing that. But have you guys ever heard about the bystander in the little bullying situation that they used to talk to us about at school? You're the bystander. You do nothing. So.
Aren't you a bystander too? What the fuck are you doing? I find the hypocrisy in women. I really do. And I've shown you dozens of videos, right? I know I'm making you suffer through it, but I just want to, again, make my viewpoints concrete. I don't say shit just to say shit. I recently had a detractor, say I bully women, I hate on women, but, and it's like, oh, why do you say shit? Well, why? I literally shown you why. Dozens of videos. This is what is inundated, right? This is what all these women, right? And just in this one video, right? I've shown you plenty. I have hundreds of it. Hundreds. So think what you will. But what do you guys think? Ooh, that was a doozy, right? I'm sorry. I'm sorry it was long. But it's a lot, right? But I think it's a good thing, right? I mean, I wanted to show it, so I hope you guys didn't suffer too bad through it. Right? I hope it wasn't too bad for you guys. Maybe I kind of got a little bit of a headache. I maybe kind of got a little bit of a headache towards the end, but it is what it is. Why I wanted to show it is that I've said this before, okay? My content isn't about hating women. Not a single one of these women, which I'm not crazy about them, but do I hate them? No, I don't give a shit. I don't care. I'm not going to remember these women. I'm not going to remember their name, even if which I don't know because I don't look at it. I don't really give a shit. I don't give a shit about any of these women. But none of my rhetoric was really, I don't think so, actually hate or bullying towards any of these women. But I said this, I had a detractor said, oh, why don't you, give constructive criticism, tag these women. You think any of these fucking women would even listen to me? You think you can change the mind of any of these fucking women? Even if you make the most logical, right? Because the last woman I just said, I gave statistics, right? Numbers, right? Data, studies. I guarantee you wouldn't change her mind. I guarantee you. The point isn't to change the minds of women, okay? Particularly the women that I've shown you, right? It's not the point. It's the point to either change the mind of an audience, right? A particular audience or one audience that may view that had disagree with me and maybe view something different because I'm showing you visual proof, or to help men to understand things better, okay? Because like I said, we don't try to change women, right? These miserable women are what they are. right? They will believe what they believe. What I said is that you can only affect yourself, right? What you do, your own actions, your own views, that's what you can control. I would not change any one of these women. I would change how I go about shit. Okay. That's what I want to promote. That's my prescription. Okay. Handle your life. Take control of your life. I don't care about these miserable women. Okay. Because at the end of the day, I said this before, you can't hold bad people accountable. You can't. Because at the end of the day, it's usually the bad people who get away with shit, right? It's usually like all these women, like let's say this, all these women have all shitty takes, all disgusting takes against men. It is what it is. But if any of these women wanted, they will have a man, a white knight, a beta ass motherfucker, will come and knock on their door whenever they're ready, whenever they want. So at the end of the day, these women don't suffer loneliness, suffer consequences, unless they don't want to, right? These women have to force them to opt out of the dating market, right? They have to opt out of the dating market because they want, they do it on themselves, right? They do the action themselves because they know that if wanted to, right? Even the woman that opt out, anytime she wants to, she can change it. So why would she change her mind, right? Why would she change her mindset, change her ideology? She wouldn't, because even the most miserable woman you saw tonight, she would still have a man in her DMs. She would still have a man hitting on her, still have a man wanting her. And whenever she feels it, if she feels it, she always have the option of accepting any of these man's advances. If she wants it. I'm not saying she does. But again, shows you that even if she could be the most and some of these women have men, or like I said, have male friends, right? They could be the most vile women. Don't matter. Men accept anything. Men have no standards, right? Particularly with men, with women they may want to have sex with, right? I'm not, maybe they have more standards with women that they would get in a relationship with, but yeah, particularly, if he wants to have sex with her, he has no standards. Which here's my thing where I promote. It's not my prescription because honestly, I don't give a shit, right? You guys do what you want to do. But I would say what I do, where I don't care if it's just sleeping with you, right? I ain't dealing with women that are this disgusting. They may be pretty on the outside, but they're fucking ugly on the inside. And I'm not attracted to that shit. I wouldn't be able to get it up for women that are this disgusting. That's me, right? I'd rather stick to my boundaries and be single than be desperate for ugly ass people. That's my thing, right? I'm not telling you what to do because honestly, we're all adults. All these women are adults, right? Not a children in sight. So that's why I don't prescribe to change anybody's mind. I've said this before. I'm just a man with a viewpoint, right? I'm just a man with an opinion. So whether you agree, disagree, I would love to hear it. But at the end of the day, we're adults. You do what you want. I don't. I just hope that if I made any sense, right? If it sound logical, if I made a good point, maybe you will follow. Maybe you will want to learn more. Maybe you want to have a conversation. Maybe you want to view other videos. So that's it, right? Ugh. How are you guys? Hope you guys, I hope you guys did stay for the whole video. I know it's tough, right? I know it was tough. I know it was tough. I know it was a long video. A lot of these, it was a hard time for me to, and some of these women, like there was like 7 minutes, 8 minute long videos, which is hard. And a lot of them said things were just tiring, right? Particularly if I have a long video. So thank you, right? Thank you guys if you guys stayed for this long, right? You guys are amazing. I love you. And I mean it, right? I've said this before. You guys are the ones that have followed me, the ones that support me. I view you guys as brothers, right? I view you guys as family. Okay. So you guys are amazing. Right. I hope you guys have a good night. I hope you guys have a good week. You guys are awesome. Please check out my other videos. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I mean, like if you have watched this long, most likely you probably have already subscribed. But please check out my other videos. Please comment on them. Help me spread my content if you like it. If you don't, it is what it is, right? All right. Later, guys.